They're going to hand off in the crowd, and that defense.
We welcome you here to the pregame interview here on the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM. I'm Zion Palmieri, and I'm joined by Coach Richmond, the head coach of the football team.
Good morning.
How's your day going so far?
Hey, doing well. It's a lot of good energy in the school, and people are excited today, so that's always good.
So, jumping straight into things, I mean, energy's high. It is our homecoming.
Yeah.
So, do you think this is more of a distraction or not?
I would tell you it's what we use it for. I think we've had groups of players that it has been a negative because they weren't as focused on what their role was, but these guys have good habits, and we've seen a lot of good things, and I have a lot of trust in our seniors. Coaching staff's done an awesome job, and so far everything's pointing towards positive. So we're not going to make excuses for anything this evening. So far this week has been awesome. There's been a lot of people pour a lot into this week. I saw parents putting decorations up last night. Our administration has been incredible. Last night's extravaganza, Mr. Jones, Miss Cummings out there, they have poured their heart and soul into this week, and that makes it better for everyone. And, you guys, your coverage, there's a lot of positive and a lot of energy going into this week. Boys soccer got a huge win against New Pal last night. Volleyball got a big win last night. I mean, it's a collective excitement and energy. So I'm ready to roll.
How do you steer those players away from it being a distraction into more, forgetting about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's temptations everywhere. You guys know that in every way. So you got to make the most important thing most important. I say things like that all the time because good coaches said that to me, and so right now, staying loose, enjoying the festivities, enjoying the day, but you don't want to do anything outside of your normal. But at the same time, like, it isn't normal today. It's the best homecoming in the state of Indiana, So at the same time, everybody's coming to the game tonight, and that's our job. So we're very, very prepared. It's a very, very good opponent, and it's going to be a first-class atmosphere tonight. So we need to make sure we handle it that way.
All in all, do you think it's an advantage having your homecoming or just a distraction totally?
I don't know. I've said this before. I'm kind of sick in this way. I enjoy going to other people's homecomings, and like last week, I had a really good time at Mount Vernon's homecoming. So I don't want Delta to have a good time at ours. So I think it's important that we stay focused on the job at hand, and that's playing ball and having fun. So
last week against Mount Vernon, you guys won 24-10. Keaton Jones, the running back, he saw 17 carries and 108 yards.
Yeah.
As the most carries and the most yards he's had so far this season.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to continue, or what started that?
Keaton Jones. I mean, he's I'm not to be a smart aleck. He's done that. We've really tried to streamline our kind of our approach, and we're still running back by committee. You saw Bo Surface in there. You saw Dresden. Dresden had multiple carries. But we got to have some guys pick it up for Isaac a little bit in the run game, and they're ready and willing. And so we've just evolved a little bit. We took what they gave us last week. There was no magic to what we did. We just the guys up front, to be honest with you, are the impact. Keaton Jones is always Keaton Jones. We've been inconsistent in some spots at times, and I thought those fellas up front really, really did a good job. So not that they haven't in the past, but losing Gabe Martin a couple weeks ago, that really threw a curveball. We've had some other inconsistencies up there, but we feel like we got a really good group of five starting tonight, and I'm excited to see what they can do.
So last week, you got the win over Mount Vernon, and so you had lost 2, and then you get that win. How do you create this into momentum and get the ball rolling as you kind of approach the end of your season?
Well, there's an awful lot of successful people in our community. I mean, and there's a lot of successful groups and teams outside of football. And so I think the habits of successful people are the consistency in how they handle both positive and negative. After a negative, it's easy. Like, hey, we know we have these correctives to make. After a positive, well, do you feel good? Are you satisfied? Or are you humble and hungry for more? And I think last night we had a great message at our team dinner about climbing a mountain, and there's 3 types of people. You have quitters, which we don't have. You got campers and you got climbers. And so the campers just hang. They're just relaxed. They just hang. We want to be climbers, and we want to reach the top. And we got a bunch of kids in the locker room that want to do that. But what are you willing to sacrifice to do that? Are you willing to sacrifice a little bit here and there outside of your comfort zone? And to each person, that's a little bit different. But in the real world and in real life, which is soon to come for a lot of seniors, you got to pick and choose what's most important. And we get to play a game and learn those lessons now. Hopefully we've learned it and we're still climbing, and we've had a great week of practice that shows that we are. And so we just got to go apply that against a really good team tonight.
Well, that appears to be all the time we have. Thank you for joining me, Coach Richmond. I am Zion Palmieri, and this was the pregame interview here on the Arabian Coaches Show, 91.7 WEEM.
If it's easy, like, hey, we know we have these correctives to make after a pot.
WEEM.
Back to Arabian football on 91.7 WEEM.
We welcome you back here to John Broughton Field on the Arabian Sports Network pregame show, 91.7 WEEM. If you're just tuning in alongside Ian Stevens, I'm Dawson Perrell. We just got a couple minutes before we are underway here this evening for the homecoming matchup, Pendleton Heights versus Delta. Taking a look at the weather, though, before we get too far deep into tonight's game. Currently 70 degrees, mostly clear. You look on later this evening, sun really already set, but it'll get really dark around that 8:30, 8 o'clock time, and then it'll dip down into the high 60s, mid 60s, but nothing that we haven't seen this evening, and surely just some great weather for some football.
It's one of those things, you start out, the game's a little bit warmer, you go into that halftime break, as soon as you come back, you can instantly feel that temperature change, and just, of course, the fall weathers for this football on Friday nights is definitely special, and as you get into October next week, so temperature's going to keep declining, but perfect weather here for this homecoming night.
Yeah, and just a couple, I guess you could say, depth charts, some starting spot changes for Pendleton Heights starting off. Peyton Pollock, the senior, will be the tight end this evening. That's his first night playing at that tight end position. And then for that offensive line, we see a bit of moving, not too much. The big difference, you see Brian Davis now at that tackle position. He's been playing the defensive side of the ball majority of the season, but it looks like just due to a lack of offensive linemen. Of course, Gabe Simon's been inactive for pretty much a majority of the last couple weeks. I think they're bringing in Brian Davis from that D-line, bringing him to the O-line for just some experience on that offensive line. And then on top of that, from the punting position. Wes Kupfer making his return. He was out the last couple of weeks, but Coach Richmond said we could be still seeing a bit of Sam. Of course, Sam had a phenomenal week last game against Mount Vernon punting. His longest was 65. That came last week. He's averaging 45.5 yards a punt. Great punter, but with that, we'll take one last quick break. When we come back, kickoff. Don't you guys go anywhere on the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM.
91.7 WEEM is a student-run radio station. We provide everything from programming to music to live sports.
Some see a student-athlete working on a shot.
Here on 91.7 WEEM. Donate today at 917weem.org. Again, that is 917weem.org.
Back to Arabian football on 91.7 WEEM.
Welcome back here to Pendleton Heights High School. Delta starting off, kicking the ball away to the Pendleton Heights Arabians. They'll start out on offense, kicking for the Delta Eagles. That is the senior Brandon Staley, and back there to return, that'll be the senior Clint Miller. Clint Miller takes it about the 10-yard line, gets up to the 25 before being brought down. So that's where the Arabians will start off here, 1st and 10, as the offense takes the field for the first time tonight.
And one thing for Coach Richmond, on any coin toss, if he has a chance to start with the football, that is his go-to. His mood with it is always set the tone early. And if the offense can really get down this field and score a touchdown as an end result, that already gives your team that extra motivation. So, of course, coming out of this huddle, hoping to move the ball.
1st and 10 here from their own 26-yard line. Isaac Wilson, the senior, shotgun formation.
We've seen a lot of shotgun formations. The most common formation for this Pendleton Heights offense.
We'll get a handoff here on 1st down. This one will go up the middle, and it will be stuffed. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more on top of that. Gain of 0 yards brings up 2nd down for Pendleton Heights.
And Keaton Jones, he's definitely going to play a big role in the game. 42 carries on the season so far. We saw 17 of those happen last week against Mount Vernon, and definitely a heavy run game.
Yeah, and last week against Mount Vernon, as Ian was just mentioning, he reached over 100 yards, first time in his varsity career he's ever done that on the ground, that is. So now here, 2nd and 10, ball once again on the 26-yard line. Isaac Wilson will line up, shotgun formation. He has trips out to his right. Looks like we will get a play action. Wilson will fire quickly to the left sideline and breaking tackles, breaking into midfield. I think that's Clint Miller across midfield into Delta territory and finally brought down past the 40-yard line. I think that's Caden Sims. That's Caden Sims, the senior, on the reception there for a good 30 yards.
Caden Sims, one of the top receivers in this offense, just 2nd when it comes to receiving yards.
Yeah, 1st and 10 here now. Pendleton Heights wasting no time getting back to the line. Ball now on the 40-yard line. That is Delta's 40-yard line. Once again, Wilson shotgun. Another quick throw here to that same spot, and that's the same receiver, Caden Sims, on that quick out route to the left. This one will go for about 3 yards, 2nd down.
The exact same play. They found something that worked on play 1. Coach Richmond liked it. He called for that same play again. It's sole result, but of course Delta, they saw what happened that one play, able to move around a little bit defensively and get some help side on the left side.
0-0 our score if you're just tuning in. 10 minutes, 52 left to play in the first quarter. Pendleton Heights currently with possession, 2nd and 7 here. Ball on Delta's 37-yard line. Wilson, pistol formation. We'll get a handoff here on 2nd down. This one will go to Keaton Jones, the junior back. I think this will be enough for a 1st down, if not very close. Yeah, it looks like the refs will call him just short, so 3rd and very, very short here for the Arabians.
Jones in the backfield, he was able to watch the guards blocking on the inside. Was inside the carry, able to find that hole and pick up a gain of 6 yards right there. So nice carry, as you mentioned, 3rd and short.
So Pendleton Heights so far putting together a pretty solid drive on their first drive of the game. Now 3rd and very short. Wilson, shotgun. We'll get a handoff here once again. This going right back to Keaton Jones, and Jones will have enough for the 1st down and about 1 or 2 yards on top of that. So Pendleton Heights moving the chains once again now across the 30-yard line.
And for Pendleton Heights, a couple extra plays in this stand right there. But being able to move the ball down the field as quick as they have is really rolling in their favor. And as you mentioned, inside the 30-yard line, trying to punch things in.
Now 1st and 10, ball on the 28, the Eagles 28. Of course, it was the Caden Sims reception that put them in the Eagles territory. That came just about 3 plays back. Wilson now 1st and 10, once again shotgun, man in motion to the right. He'll get it off of the motion. This is Caden Sims once again. You got a flag on the play. Sims will fight his way back to the line of scrimmage, but once again, nothing more on top of that. So it'll bring up 2nd and 10. We'll see what this flag is.
With that flag being in the backfield, it's all Peyton Pollock on the floor, so I'm expecting a holding in the backfield on their tight end. So that's going to push him back 10 yards.
Yeah, we were talking about Peyton Pollock there in the pregame show. He's playing the tight end for the first time of the season. Of course, Caleb Day, usual tight end. He's been inactive for about a week now, so Pendleton Heights filling in that spot with the senior Pollock.
And this Pendleton Heights team, the last 3 weeks, starting with Greenfield into Newtown, Mount Vernon, very physical weeks. So, of course, the wear and tear on these guys have definitely took a toll. We're seeing different players throughout different spots in the last 3 weeks.
So now 1st and 20 after the holding penalty. Ball on the 38-yard line. Wilson will look back to throw, doesn't see much, takes it, scrambles out left side, breaks out. He will be brought down by several Delta players past the 30-yard line. They'll cut it down to about a 2nd down and 12.
You got to give credit to Isaac Wilson there. The pocket collapsed really early. Nowhere to go. Had pressure coming from behind. He was able to step up in the pocket and able to rush forward for about a gain of 8.
So 2nd and 11 after the scramble by senior Wilson. Ball on the Eagles' 30-yard line. Wilson, shotgun, trips out right. Looks back to throw, fires across the middle. That'll be complete. This one will go to, I do believe that is Caden Sims once again. Nope, scratch that. That is the junior Nate DeRolf. DeRolf so far in the season, 18 receptions. That'll be his 19th, 192 yards, 3 touchdowns.
As you mentioned, 3 touchdowns for DeRolf. He's tied for 2nd when it comes to receiving touchdowns for Pendleton Heights.
So 3rd and 6 now for Pendleton Heights, an early test. Ball on the Eagles' 24. 0-0 our score. Pendleton Heights currently in Delta territory. We got a keeper here for Isaac Wilson on the right side. This one got a pile forming. I don't think, he's definitely short here, about a yard or 2 short. It brings up 4th down, and Coach Richmond's got a decision to make.
So that carry right there, you're just outside the red zone, standing about the 21-yard line, but you've made it this far across that midline. So at this point, worst scenario, you aren't able to get the ball across the line. It'd be similar to a good punt going the opposite direction.
Yeah, exactly. I think the risk factor is not too big because, again, say you don't get it, you're still putting Delta deep in their own territory. But Wilson here, 4th and 2, shotgun, trips out left. He'll look back to throw. Pocket collapses, moving around, fires right sideline for the end zone. It is incomplete. Caden Sims had a try to pull it in. We do have a flag on the play, so we'll see what this is. But as of now, it's incomplete. Delta football.
So that flag can play a big role for Pendleton Heights. If it's a holding, that's going to be declined. But if that's a defensive penalty, that will be an automatic 1st down for the Arabians, which would set them inside the red zone, looking high and pretty.
Yeah, and it's coming from where the linebackers are, not in the secondary, not in the backfield, but it looks like this will be holding here for Pendleton Heights. That penalty, of course, declined, so Delta will get the football here after the failed 4th down try for Pendleton Heights. 1st and 10, Delta from their own 20-yard line. They'll take over for the first time tonight.
Right there, a legal man downfield. So for those linemen you're blocking, you're trying to see how long do I have, and of course Wilson scrambling out of the pocket, just being up past that kind of 3 to 5 yard limit you have, and the officials in the midfield definitely paying attention.
So 0-0 our score, 7 minutes, 29 seconds to play in the first. Eagles will take the field here, first time tonight. Bronson Edwards, the junior starting quarterback, under center, 1st down. We're going to hand off here up the middle. This one, I do believe this is Nolan Carpenter on the carry. This one will go for about 2 yards on 1st down. Brings up 2nd for the Eagles.
And Carpenter, 90 carries on the season so far for over 550 yards. So he's a dirty-nosed running back. He's going to find the holes when available. He's going to find any little pinpoint he can squeeze through and put his nose down and run.
So now 2nd and 7 after the 1st down carry for the Delta Eagles. Ball on their own 24-yard line. Edwards, shotgun, trips out left. So we got a carry here once again up the middle for Delta. This one will once again go for about 3 yards. Brings up 3rd and short for the Eagles.
And Garrett Peterson on that tackle, he was able to scrape off the defender and pick up his 35th tackle of the season. And for Peterson, of course, he's dealt with some injuries throughout his high school career, but his first season on the defensive line, and he's been holding his ground as he's only coming in at 5'9", doing a great job penetrating up against some of those bigger linemen.
Yeah, Garrett Peterson, as you're mentioning, definitely has a size against him, lining up usually against guys maybe 100 pounds heavier than him. 3rd and 4 now. Edwards shotgun. He'll look back to throw. Fires over to the right side, and that'll be incomplete. Overthrew his receiver. He'll fly into the Delta sidelines. That'll bring up 4th down. Jones was the target, and Delta will be forced to bring out their punting unit deep in their own territory.
And that's a quick 4 and out for the Pendleton Knights defense. They're trying to get some guys off the field quick. But this Delta team, they're set up in that punt formation, but they are known to bring out the bag of tricks, especially with their special team units.
So 4th and 4 here. That is Landon Brooks on to punt away, and then in the backfield, that's Clint Miller. Sure enough, this one is punted away, and it looks like that's tipped by Pendleton Heights, as this one will hit the turf really just past that 30-yard line. Looks like that was Eli Arthur, the senior, getting to Landon Brooks. Didn't necessarily block it, but still got a hand up there. And again, Pendleton Heights will start here in Eagle territory on the 35.
And although you weren't able to pick that ball up there off the block, that puts the ball in your own side of the field, or in Delta side of the field, rather than pushing it all the way on the opposite side.
So now 1st and 10, Pendleton Heights offense back out on the field after the quick 3 and out. Wilson will line up shotgun, spread formation.
Delta definitely filling the box with some linebackers.
Wilson quickly throws right sidelines, finds his receiver Reese Reddington on the quick out route. This one will be enough for a 1st down here. Move the chains for Pendleton Heights.
Just being able to, as you mentioned, it's not trying to pick up 15, 20 yards of play. Just being able to get a couple chip plays here and there are going to add up in a game like this.
No score yet by either team. 5:43 left to play in the first quarter. Pendleton Heights currently with possession, ball on the Eagles' 24-yard line. Wilson will line up, shotgun. You got 2 running backs in the backfield with him. That's Bo Surface and Keaton Jones. You got a quick option play for Isaac Wilson. He'll decide to keep it himself up the middle. Only go for about a yard or 2. Brings up 2nd down.
And Landon Brooks right there, the outside linebacker, doing a great job reading his job. They know what Isaac Wilson's capable of when it comes to his feet. Had that option. He could have went outside but kept it. But Brooks not over following that fake option and being able to read Isaac Wilson's eyes pretty well.
Yeah, and Isaac Wilson with that elite dual threat ability, 445 yards in the air, 266 yards on the ground heading into tonight's game. So 2nd and 8 after the 1st down carry by Wilson. Ball on the Eagles' 22. We'll get a handoff here. This is Dresden Roberts up the middle. Roberts will fight for some extra yards. Looks like he'll get back to the 15-yard line there. It looks like he's just shy of that 1st down marker. 3rd and very short once again for Pendleton Heights.
And for Roberts, he's the guy. He's going to break through some tackles and pick up those extra yards as we saw right there.
All right, but once again, Pendleton Heights wasting no time getting back to the line of scrimmage here. Now 3rd and 1. Wilson, shotgun. He'll look back to throw, fires over across the middle. It looks like this one was tipped by a Delta Eagle on that D-line. Incomplete. He had an open man. That was Nate DeRolf on the quick curl router. That looked like that was Drake Stevens was the target. But again, incomplete. Brings up 4th and 1, and it looks like Pendleton Heights will opt to send out Dominic Apo in the field goal unit to attempt this about 26-yard field goal.
The downside for Isaac Wilson, only 5'8". Some of those taller defenders on the line, easy to get a pull up and get the block.
Dominic so far 4 for 5 on the season with field goals. This one will go through the uprights. It's good. Pendleton Heights will start off on the scoreboard, now up 3-0, 4:16 to play in the first quarter. We will take a quick break. You're listening to the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM.
This presentation of the Arabian Sports
At Pendleton Heights, radio is a huge part of our lives. From programming to social media to podcasts to sports, our student-run radio station is dedicated to informing and entertaining everyone in and around our campus. We're with you every step of the day. Whether it be in your car, in class, at lunch, or at work, we're here to provide you with the local news and the best songs. Experience the full impact of radio today by tuning in to 91.7 WEEM. To learn more, go to our website at 917weem.org. We're here for our community.
Football on 91.7 WEEM.
We welcome you back here to Pendleton Heights High School on the Arabian Sports Network. If you're just tuning in, Pendleton Heights just got the scoring kicked off here this evening with a field goal by Dominic Apo. He advances to 5-6 on the season. Pendleton Heights now leading Delta 3-0 with 4:16 left to play in the first quarter. Pendleton Heights now on to kick this ball away to the Delta Eagles. Dominic Apo back on the field. He's averaging 42.5 yards per kickoff. He's had 2 touchbacks on the season.
Damapo, his struggle when it comes to kickoff has been keeping the ball in bounds. They always try to shoot quadrants when they kick, but being able to push it too far has definitely been a downside.
This one will be fielded by Delta inside the 5-yard line, taken out. He has a hole down the right sideline, but he'll be wrapped up and pushed out of bounds. Scratch that. He's still on his feet and finally brought down. It looks like he was past that 25-yard line on about the 26, and that's where the Delta Eagles will start back up 1st and 10.
So definitely a nice return. Blockers were doing the job. Pendleton Heights, they're kind of defensive or special teams right there, a little slow getting down the field, kind of lolling and gagging around. Luckily for them, they're able to get the tackle, but Coach Richmond would definitely like to see some more energy.
So now here 1st and 10 as Bronson Edwards takes the field once again. Of course, that first drive for Delta ended in a 3-and-out, so Pendleton Heights, their defense hoping to recreate what they saw in that first Delta drive. So 1st and 10, ball in the 28. This one will be up the middle once again, and running back there for Delta drove backwards. It'll be a gain of about 1 yard due to forward progression, and brings up 2nd down for the Eagles.
So far, Pendleton Heights defensively haven't been on the field that much. They have that 4-and-out there in their last offensive possession. But right there, just being able to hold the run up at the line of scrimmage is definitely going to benefit them throughout this game.
I do believe that was Linus Chase, the fullback, on the carry. Only had 7 carries entering tonight's game. So now 2nd and 9 for the Eagles. Edwards, shotgun, trips out left. He'll look back to throw, but this play blown off. My guess is a false start.
Especially the receiver on the outside, getting a little anxious, Maybe you're kind of the number one targeted receiver right there, trying to get that jump. And just a second early, the flinches like that will definitely back you up pretty quick.
Yeah, so due to that false start penalty, Delta will be pushed back 5 yards. Now 2nd and 14. And those penalties will kill you. Pendleton Heights has seen quite a bit of opponents do that. I remember that Newcastle game towards the beginning of the season. I think Newcastle maybe had 8 false starts in the first half alone, at least around that number. So, and of course, Pendleton Heights blew them out. So those pre-snap penalties can kill you if they rack up. A deep shot downfield for Edwards. Down that right sideline will fall incomplete. The receiver there, it looks like he had a hand on it, but it just couldn't pull it in. It looks like it was Damari Hood on the target, is my guess, but with that incompletion brings up 3rd down.
Damari Hood, that senior receiving main target here for Delta. He's been the number 1 guy the last couple of years, but great job defensively there by Nolan Souders, being able to go toe-for-toe down the sideline and force that deflection.
And Nolan Souders for Pendleton Heights. Last year, of course, the all-conference corner. This year, having a very good season. Multiple picks. I'd say at this point, he's averaging really a pick a game. And, of course, on top of that, great when it comes to defending the pass as well.
And for Pendleton Heights defensively, you're looking at a 3rd and long. So one stop here, and there's a high chance that you're going to be able to force another.
Yeah, it looks like we got a penalty here. This one will be against Pendleton Heights. My guess is this was after the play, maybe an unnecessary roughness, but it was a 15-yarder. So new set of downs here for Delta. Ball now on their own 38-yard line. So, yeah, that did jump up 15 yards there. Not sure exactly where that penalty came from. It was very late. So now 1st and 10. Edwards under center. Man in motion. We'll give it to the back up the middle. This will be Bond on the carry, the tailback. Bond entering the game with 63 carries. This one will go for about 8 yards on first down, brings up second.
A lot of carries for Bond throughout the season, only 316 yards to show for it. There's a nice little 8-yard carry there, but for Pendleton Heights, definitely going to try to close off those running lanes on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you mentioned their running lanes. Bond had quite the big one there in that last play. Used his explosive speed to break out into the second level. Luckily for Pendleton Heights, didn't get anything more on top of those 8 yards. So 2nd and 3 now for the Eagles. Looks like we got our carry here up the middle once again. This will move the sticks as Delta now enters to Pendleton Heights territory for the first time this evening. 1st and 10, ball now on Pendleton's 46-yard line.
That's back-to-back 8-yard carries for Bond. He's being able to, as you mentioned, use his speed to his advantage. He's finding those holes. He's taking some nice defensive tackle shots to the legs, but he's going to be a player, if you're especially the Pendleton Heights defenders, to try to keep an eye on.
3-0 our score. Pendleton Heights with the lead. 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. We'll get another handoff here for Delta. This one will go for just about 3 yards there on first down. This one will be Carpenter, the junior, on the carry. 2nd and 7 now for the Eagles.
Great job there for the defensive lineman for Pendleton Heights, kind of shoving back on some of those linemen, creating some pressure, and there's nowhere to go for the run game.
Once again, 2nd and 7 for the Eagles. Ball on the Arabians' 44-yard line. Eagles trailing 3-0 with 1:30 to play in the first quarter. Edwards shotgun, spread formation. Edwards will look back to throw. He's in trouble. He'll be brought down just about a yard behind the line of scrimmage there. That'll be counted as a sack. The first one for the Arabians here tonight. It's Payne Pollock on the sack. Brings up 3rd and 8 for the Eagles.
Pollock, he was fighting that tackle that whole play, was able to get his edge in the backfield and kind of chasing him down, and was able to just to pick the leg of the quarterback enough to bring him down. But for Pendleton Heights, a great stop and a little bit of motivation towards the defense.
So 3rd and 8, under a minute to play here in this first quarter. Edwards shotgun, spread formation once again. Edwards looks to throw, steps up in the pocket, fires as he runs, and it is completed there across the middle for a first down and a bit more. The biggest play we've seen out of Delta so far, that was Damari Hood, the senior, the Edwards' favorite receiver on the season for the first down.
And for Bronson Edwards, a great job utilizing the field to his advantage. He saw the pocket collapse. He stepped forward, was considering going on the feet, but saw Damari Hood coming across the middle on that slant. Was able to feed his number 1 receiver for that first down. But Bronson Edwards, a phenomenal quarterback here in the HHC this season with over 1,000 yards throughout the air.
This might be the last play here in the first quarter, just under 10 seconds to play. 1st and 10, we'll get a carry here up the middle. This one will once again be Caden Bond. It'll go for about 4 yards on first down, and with that, that'll do it for our first quarter. Pendleton Heights 3, Delta Eagles 0. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WE.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Facebook and Twitter or at DetourSalon.com. Detour Salon in Style.
Back to Arabian football on 91.7 WEEM.
We welcome you back here to John Broughton Field on the Arabian Sports Network. If you're just tuning in, currently on the scoreboard, Pendleton Heights leading the Delta Eagles 3-0 here on their homecoming start of the second quarter. But there in that first half, just recapping it a bit, we saw 2 decent drives for Pendleton Heights. The first one ended with 0 points. Pendleton Heights went for it, 4th and short, weren't able to get it. And then there on that second drive, after getting the ball back very quickly after a 3-and-out, they were able to get a field goal by Dominic Apo. So Delta Eagles here with their first decent drive of the game, their second drive. Now in Arabian territory, 2nd and 7, ball on Pendleton Heights' 30-yard line.
for Pendleton Heights, any chance you get the opportunity to put points on the board is always a positive and in your favor.
Shotgun here. Edwards, play action, fires over there to his left side. That'll be complete. It was on the sideline, and it looks like the receiver there did get both feet in bounds. First down for Delta. That was once again Damari Hood on the reception. Again, moving the sticks. Ball now on the 15-yard line.
You know, for Pendleton Heights defensively in that scouting report, is Damari Hood is going to be that number one guy they've been talking about all week long. And of course, you know, picking up a couple nice receptions.
So 1st and 10. After the completion there on the left sideline by Damari Hood, he'll advance after that catch to 33 receptions on the season. Ball on Pendleton Heights' 15-yard line. Edwards, shotgun. Got trips out left. We're going to hand off here to Bond on first down. This one will go for about 3 yards. Brings up second down. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on 91.7 WEEN.
Broadcasting from the WEEM studios, underwritten by Community Hospital Anderson, this is the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM Pendleton.
Back to Arabian football on 91.7 WEEM.
2nd and 8 for the Delta Eagles here, trailing 3-0. Edwards under center. Got a carry here up the middle. Brace to the second level, and Bond is into the end zone. Touchdown, Delta Eagles on the 13-yard carry by Caden Bond. Delta taking the lead for the first time tonight, now 6-3 as they bring out their extra point unit.
And we saw a couple runs earlier there by Bond that were a couple nicer carries, and this one was able to find the right hole. Great blocking there by Delta, and wasn't touched for that 13-yard carry.
Brandon Stanley out to kick this extra point for the Delta Eagles. Trying to push this lead to 7-3. Good snap, good holds, good kick, and it is good. 7-3 our score. Pendleton Heights trailing the Delta Eagles. 11 minutes, 11 seconds to play in the first half. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEN.
This presentation of the Arabian Sports
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
to 8 p.m. More information is available at twistersodabar.com. Twisters Soda Bar.
Back to Arabian football on 91.7 WEEN.
We welcome you back here to John Broughton Field on the Arabian Sports Network. Scoreboard, Delta Eagles 7, Pendleton Heights 3. 11 minutes, 11 seconds to play in the second quarter. Delta Eagles kicker Brandon Stanley on to kick this ball away to the Pendleton Heights Arabians. Back there to return for the Arabians, that is the senior Clint Miller as well as the junior Keaton Jones. Jones will field it around that 15-yard line, and he breaks out into open space. A good return here past the 35, just shy of the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 now, Pendleton Heights.
And a great return there by Keaton Jones after giving up that touchdown defensively. Pendleton Heights, we saw them move the ball fairly well throughout that first quarter. So that's something they need to bring to the table here in the second half. And although, you're down 7-3 in the scoreboard, you have to keep the mindset of we're going to run this ball down and go back up with a touchdown.
Good field positioning can definitely matter, especially when trailing on the scoreboard. So now here 1st and 10, ball on their own 38-yard line. Arabians line up. Shotgun will get a carry here on first down. This one will go to the senior Bo Surface. Let's go for 4 yards. Brings up 2nd and 6.
And Surface forced to have a cutback lane there with the backside of his blockers. Was able to pick up a nice net carry. But that's a big thing for these running backs, is being able to read where the blocks are at and where those open lanes are.
Now Bo Surface entering this evening's game. You take a look at his stats. 17 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown. He's averaging 5.2 yards a carry. So 2nd and 6 now. Ball on their own 42. Isaac Wilson, shotgun. Wilson will look back to throw. Quickly fires. Finds Drake Stevens on the quick slant. Stevens with some good yak there. Cross midfield into Eagle territory. Down there at just about the 42-yard line. 1st and 10, Pendleton Heights.
And a great reception there by Drake Stevens. He's had a couple points throughout the season where he's really struggled being able to secure that ball and pick up the yardage. But a great job there catching the ball before he decided to keep running.
So into Eagle territory. Pendleton Heights now 1st and 10. Ball on the 43. Wilson, shotgun, man in motion. That's Nader off to the right side. This play will be whistled off. So we do have a penalty marker here on the play. And that is before the snap, and this will be false start on the Arabians. That'll push them back 5 yards. So 1st and 15 now after the false start.
And the downfall to that penalty, not only are you getting the false start, you have a quarterback change. Colton Franken there are utilizing Isaac Wilson as that other option in the passing game as he's rolling out to the side, still in the backfield. But now you have to find a way to catch him out.
Yeah, we saw this from Pendleton Heights a couple games back. A lot of Colton Frank and Isaac Wilson both on the field at the same time. But Colton Frank will look back to throw here 1st and 10. Finds Reese Reddington on a quick curl. Reese Reddington breaks some tackles and gets across the 40-yard line just shy of the 35 on the 36. Brings up 2nd and about 5 here for Pendleton Heights.
That's a great response from that false start just moments ago, picking up a nice 10-yard gain on the pass play there, and you're back where you were if you had a little quick run there on 1st down.
2nd and 5, ball on the Eagles' 38-yard line. Looks like Isaac Wilson will return there to the quarterback position. We'll get a handoff here on 2nd down. This one will be Keaton Jones, the junior, on the carry. This one will go for 3 yards. 2 yards, brings up 3rd and short.
So right now you're looking at 3rd and short. You have that passing game, but you also have the arsenal of Dresden Roberts to be able to put there at that kind of power back, fullback position. So what are you drawing up here on this 3rd down?
Yeah, Dresden Roberts definitely an option. Not sure if he's in the huddle or not. Can't quite tell, but he's definitely been the guy that Pendleton Heights have been going to in these sort of situations. It looks like in the backfield that is Bo Surface. So Wilson, shotgun, 3rd and 2. We'll get a carry here. This one will be Bo Surface up the middle. It looks like he is just short of that 1st down marker. 4th and inches here for Pendleton Heights, and my guess is they're going to go for it.
At this point, yet again, your risk to success rate here is in the air. You're across that midline. You're sitting inside the 35-yard line. So with 1 yard to go, as you can see, Dresden Roberts just running on the field there.
Yeah, I was just about to mention Dresden Roberts now entering the huddle in the backfield. I'm sure Delta expecting a carry from Roberts, and the question is, can they stop it? Scratch that. It looks like Isaac Wilson will keep it himself. Roberts, the lead blocker. He will have enough for a 1st down. It's pretty close, but he does have enough, about a yard on top of that. So moving the sticks, Pendleton Heights, new set of downs.
You bring out Roberts right there, and of course that whole defense is thinking this ball's coming up the middle, but to utilize him as an extra blocker was a smart call there by Coach Richmond.
So now 1st and 10, ball on the Eagles' 33-yard line. Isaac Wilson will line up, shotgun formation. He has trips outright. Drops back to throw, fires quickly to that left side of the field. It is complete there. Caden Sims for his 2nd reception of the game. This one will go for 4 yards on 1st down, brings up 2nd and 6 for the Pendleton Heights Arabians.
And a nice quick out route right there. Delta playing that man defense there on Sims on the near corner or near side. It's a great quick slot pass.
2nd and 6, ball on the Eagles' 29-yard line. Wilson, spread formation. Drops back to throw. Fires to that right side of the field. It is complete. Finds his receiver at the 20-yard line. We get about 5 yards on top of that. We got a flag here, a late flag. This might be unnecessary roughness on one of these teams. That's Caden Sims, by the way, with the catch.
And this penalty definitely going to be someone's sportsmanlike conduct going against Delta. So you're also going to move half a distance to the goal from where they're currently sitting, marked just outside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, we're still awaiting a call. Refs kind of meeting up there where that ball was spotted. It definitely is unnecessary roughness. There was a bit of a whistle was blown and still some contact going on. The question is it on Pendleton Heights or Delta? You want to say Delta, of course, them being on defense currently, but you never know. And sure enough here, it looks like this might actually be on Pendleton Heights. Not sure exactly what this penalty is. It was tough to see the ref through the screen, but either way, that's going to push back Pendleton Heights and negate that last play.
Definitely not what you want to see. But although the ball was moved across for a first down, they are moved back, but it will be a first down for Pendleton Heights.
Yeah, that is big for Pendleton Heights, as Ian was mentioning there. Despite the penalty, Pendleton Heights still getting the first down. Ball on the Eagles' 31-yard line. Wilson will draw back to throw. Fires over the middle. It's a tough catch, and it looked like that one might have hit the dirt.
That one on the edge of a pass interference. You know, he's kind of guarding the catching lane there of the receiver with more than just an arm.
Yeah, no flag to show for it, though. So with that incompletion, it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Arabians. It was a tough throw for Isaac Wilson. He was on the move. It's kind of an awkward position for him, and that's why it was a bit undershot. But, yeah, as Ian was mentioning, there might have been a question for pass interference, but refs with the final say, they say there's no penalty on the play. But we do have a timeout here by Pendleton Heights. This will be their first of the game. We'll take a quick break with them. 3-7 our score. Delta with the lead here on the Arabian Sports Network. 91.7 WEEM.
Not everyone.
Looking for something to listen to on your way home? Join Sam Duffer, Layla Reef, and Gracie Wolf every Tuesday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m., where we make sure that all your afternoons are news-filled and fun. Get a recap of the day and a good laugh. Tune in to the Arabian Stampede here on 91.7 WEEM.
Student athletes to grow and develop in the second classroom and to protect high school sports for future generations to come.
Champions of high school sports are just one of the many reasons that education-based athletics in Indiana are so special.
And the easiest way to be a champion is by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic event.
This is showing support. This is championing high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Back to Arabian football on 91.7 WEEM.
We welcome you back here to the Arabian Sports Network. If you're just tuning in alongside Ian Stevens, I'm Dawson Peril. Pendleton Heights currently trailing the Delta Eagles here at home 7-3. 7:15 left to play in the second quarter. We just saw a completion there by Caden Sims. Isaac Wilson found his favorite target, the senior Sims, on the quick curl route there. That'll be enough for a first down, but it looks like this might actually be called incomplete. An official will call a timeout here.
They're bringing out the chains for measurement on whether there's a first down there. One of those plays was questionable, and that's what they have the chains there for. But a great catch nonetheless. He was able to get his hands under the ball as that pass was a lower pass just up on the turf.
And it did look like a first down there in real time, but out the chains, yeah, it looks like this might be just short. So sure enough, Pendleton Heights didn't quite get there. Not able to move the sticks. It'll be third down.
Luckily for Pendleton Heights, although not the first down, third and short, so still very manageable.
And you look at some of the other scores around the Hoosier Heritage Conference. We see a number of blowouts. First off, Mount Vernon at Newcastle at halftime, 30-0. Mount Vernon with the lead. And then Shelbyville at New Pal at halftime. New Pal with the lead, 35-0.
Definitely two of the kind of bigger teams in the conference.
Yeah.
And for Mount Vernon, after that loss last week, definitely trying to get back on the winning way.
So third and short here for the Pendleton Heights Arabians. We'll get a handoff to Dresden Roberts. And this will be enough for a first down as Pendleton Heights is just outside, or does enter the red zone here.
And a great carry by Roberts. Multiple linemen right there getting some nice pancake blocks. We're on top of their defenders right there, opening up great lanes for the rushing game.
Yeah, so Pendleton Heights into the red zone for the second time tonight. First and 10, ball on the 16. Of course, that last time they were in the red zone, they walked away with 3 points. Not the worst thing, but not ideal. Of course, you'll be looking for 6. Got a keeper here by Isaac Wilson on the option. This one going nowhere, maybe a yard or 2. Brings up second down. Pendleton Heights fans wanted a late hit, but not going to get one. So second down, Pendleton Heights.
Stuff like that. As you mentioned, the whistle's already blown. Then he proceeded to kind of lift Wilson up and hip toss him to the ground. And that's something you got to be careful as a defender. As quarterbacks are one of the most protected players on the field in the game of football. And then you make that wrong lineman mad, they're going to be coming to get some revenge.
So 2nd and 10 now after the run there by Isaac Wilson. Ball once again on the 16. Wilson drops back to throw, steps up in the pocket, throws on the run, fires to an open receiver, but it's incomplete. Looks like that was Drake Stevens, if I am correct. And it was a bit of a high throw. It would have been a very good throw. Say he pulled it in, but it was a bit overthrown, and the receiver just couldn't quite haul it. 3rd down. Arabians.
Wilson was on the move, some pressure from the backfield, but that was one of those almost too wide that he fumbled the pressure on, or at least that ball a little too high.
Yeah, and that could have been a touchdown. The receiver there for Pendleton Heights, Drake, was pretty open, but now here on 3rd and 10, Wilson will look back to throw once again, and this one will hit the turf out of bounds, incomplete. This will be Sims on the target, but with that incompletion, 4th and 10, ball on the 16. It looks like Coach Richmond will opt to send out the field goal unit for the 2nd time tonight.
This is going to be a deeper field goal here for Tamapo, the one he kicked just moments ago. This one outside the 20, so it's looking like a 32-yard field goal attempt.
Yeah, definitely just a bit further, not anything outrageous. His longest on the season came from 33 yards out. This one probably around that same distance, just a bit shorter. Good kick for Dom, and this one will be through the uprights. Dominic Capo doing his part. Now 2 field goals on the game. Pendleton Heights cutting down Delta's lead. Now 7-6. But the ASN Coaches Show is every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Be sure to catch up with what's latest around the Arabian football team with Coach Richmond and special guests. Replays of the broadcast can be found on 917WEEM.org. But Ian, you just recap that last drive from Pendleton Heights. Of course, they started in their own territory after the field goal. It was good field positioning. They started around that 35-yard line, and a decent drive, a very slow drive, took plenty of time off the clock. And, of course, you couldn't get in for 6, another field goal, but, again, you'll take points, better than 0.
And, yeah, of course, you're always shooting for that touchdown at the end of the drive, but you got to take what you get when you can get it. And for Pendleton Heights, you dealt with penalties. You saw some adversity there on that drive. Multiple penalties, set them back 2 to 3 times, so you lost about 30 yards when it comes to offensive penalties right there that would have definitely been in your favor had those unsportsmanlike penalties and stuff like that not happened. But Delta defensively, to be able to hold this Pendleton Heights offense to 3 points or 6 points total throughout the game has definitely been doing their job keeping up the part.
All right, so 7-6 after the field goal. 5 minutes, 52 left to play in the second half. Dominic Capo out here to kick this ball away to the Delta Eagles. They're back to return for the Eagles. That is Jalen Jones. This one will be short, fielded around that 15-yard line. Delta return man will get back to the 25, a bit further than that, on the 26-27, and that's where the Eagles will resume their offensive play.
In that last offensive drive for Delta, we saw a little bit. We saw some of the pass game, of course, going to Damari Hood, one of their top receivers. But then that run game, they've been handing off to Caden Bond, over 63 carries throughout the season, and finding that, of course, 13-yard carry for a touchdown. You're wanting to be able to watch Hood on the outside slot, but be able to keep tight eyes on the run game in the interior.
Yeah, Caden Bond, that was his 4th touchdown of the season, that last drive for Delta. But now Edwards here, 1st and 10, ball on their own 28-yard line. He'll line up shotgun. We'll get a carry here up the middle as he breaks down to open space across the midfield marker. That's Nolan Carpenter on the carry. A huge first down carry of about 25 yards. Ball placed right on that midfield, really on that 49-yard line, so just inside Delta territory. Another handoff here, 1st and 10. Delta wasting no time getting to the line, and now they enter Pendleton Heights territory here with just about a 1 or 2 yard carry, brings up 2nd and 8 for the Eagles.
So, of course, Delta went to the no huddle and got on the ball instantly, but Eli Lidler doing a great job there at the defensive tackle spot, being able to get the nice wrap at the legs and bring the tackle to the ground. So that's a great response to the big run play they just allowed.
So 2nd and 8. Delta Eagles getting to the line of scrimmage here. Ball on the Arabians' 48-yard line. Edwards, shotgun, trips out right. Man in motion. Looks like Edwards will key to himself. This actually might not be Edwards. Yeah, that's Caden Bond of the Wildcat. It's tough to tell, but there's a good read by Pendleton Heights. Nick Trout pretty much picked up that play right away. Got to the running back, Caden Bond. Didn't allow a yard. Brings up 3rd and very long here for the Eagles.
Nick Trout, he's the defensive kind of guy out there on this team. 70 tackles, leads the team in tackles. And that's going to go down as his 6th tackle for a loss this season.
So 3rd and 9 now. Looks like Edwards is back out there.
Look at this 3rd and 9. You have to be definitely alert of this receiving game. As Delta, a very well-talented passing team.
Edwards, 3rd and 10, steps up in the pocket, breaks out of 1 tackle, but in comes the second wave of Arabian tacklers. He'll get about a yard or 2 on the carry, but nothing more. Brings up 4th down for the Delta Eagles. You're here pretty much at midfield. You got a decision to make, but it looks like Delta will send out the punting unit, attempting to punt this one deep in Pendleton Heights territory.
Yeah, you're kind of, that's one of those ones you're on the edge. You're just outside the 45-yard line, but you're across the 50. So probably a smart decision for Delta to punt this. If you could pin this ball out of bounds inside, say, the 15 to 10-yard line, you'd be put in Pendleton Heights offense in a very tough spot.
This one will be smacked away for Delta. It'll roll out the back end of the end zone, touchback there. So Pendleton Heights will start decent field positioning. 1st and 10 as Isaac Wilson and his offense walks out on the field.
That punt return, of course, already moves them out past on the 20-yard line. So that's in their favor right there. Didn't have to fight the pressure of having those defenders charging at you, trying to catch the ball, and, of course, pick up yardage.
Yeah, so 1st and 10. As Ian was just mentioning, ball on the Arabians' 20-yard line as Isaac Wilson lines up here, shotgun. Got 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. We'll get a carry here by Keaton Jones on 1st down, and Delta won't allow much, about a yard or 2 there on 1st down, brings up 2nd.
Although just a gain of about 3 or 4 right there, still chipping away at that, of course, 10-yard goal.
7-6 our score, Delta with the lead. Just under 3 minutes to play here in the first half. 2nd and 6, they'll call it. Ball on the 29-yard line. Wilson once again, shotgun. He'll drop back to throw, fires to that right sideline, finds his receiver Reese Reddington on the out route, and Reddington will have enough for a 1st down. Across the 30-yard line, down to the 31.
Reddington doing a great job being able to, of course, corral in that ball and turn up field and pick up those extra yards to get across the yard marker.
And Reese Reddington entering this evening's game. He's had a solid season so far. We've seen him in a number of spots. Last week, before Pendleton Heights really sorted out the tight end spot, of course, I was mentioning Caleb Day out for a number of weeks now. We saw Reese Reddington in more as a slot position, cross offset from the tackle, but he looks like now Peyton Pollock taking that tight end position. He's moving back to his original receiver spot. We got Colton Frank in here as quarterback on 1st and 10. He'll find Isaac Wilson, the other quarterback, on the wide receiver screen to the left. Unfortunately, doesn't get much of anything. In fact, this one will be going backwards. It looks like it'll be about a loss of a yard. 2nd and 11 now for Pendleton Heights.
Unfortunately, stood up there kind of right around the line of scrimmage. But that's one thing this Delta defense has done a great job of. If they see Isaac Wilson somewhere outside of the quarterback position, they know that's a high possibility that that ball's coming his way.
2nd and 11. Dropping back to throw. This is Isaac Wilson. Wilson steps up in the pocket, doesn't see anything, still on his feet. Across the 40-yard line. A solid 8, maybe 9-yard carry there by Isaac Wilson on the scramble. Brings up 3rd and short once again for Pendleton Heights.
And another timeout here by Coach Richmond as we come on just over a minute to play.
Yeah, so 7-6 is our score. Delta with the lead. A minute 17 to play in the first half. But here at 91.7 WEEM, we keep updated with our community by being on the hottest social media platforms around. Find us at 91.7 WEEM on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We would love to hear from all our listeners, so go to Instagram today and answer our daily polls. Keep updated with what's our latest posts and trends on 91.7 WEEM. But Ian, of course, so far for Pendleton Knights on offense, they've been doing a solid job moving the ball. I'd say the biggest cause of concern, or maybe the biggest strength we've seen from Delta's defense so far, is they're able to contain this Pendleton Heights run. The biggest runs we've seen from the Arabians have been really coming off of quarterback scrambles by Isaac Wilson, and I think Pendleton Heights, of course, their offense is very much built into the run, so if you want to get this offense going, you got to fix that first and best most.
And as you mentioned, this Pendleton Heights defense, they feed and breathe off of that run game. We saw it a lot last week against Mount Vernon.
So we got an interception here by Delta. It is Zane Klein, the junior, with the pick. It was an inaccurate throw by Isaac Wilson. He was in trouble, under pressure, throwing off his back foot, and it was just, bottom line was it was an inaccurate throw right into Zane Klein's lap. Nice job reading the play, though, jumping in front of the pass, and now Delta Eagles start first and 10. Their offense comes back on the field, ball on the 20-yard line.
And not the smartest decision by Isaac Wilson right there. He knew he was under pressure. He was scrambling and instantly trying to find somebody he could look at. He forced that pass in there, and as you mentioned, great awareness on that Delta defense picking it off. And this puts Delta's offense inside Arabian territory with a little over a minute to play here in this first half.
Edwards now under center, first and 10, ball on the Arabians 21. We'll get a carry here up the middle by Caden Bond, and once again, Bond will get some good blocks. It looks like he might just be short of the first down marker. It's very, very close. But either way, it was about a 10-yard carry, and it looks like the refs will give Caden Bond the first down. So Delta Eagles will move the sticks. It's not quite a first and goal. Ball on that 11-yard line, so really first and 10, but doubt you'll be seeing another first down. Of course, that first down marker on the 1-yard line. But you also have to be quick here. Of course, you're up 7-6, but only under a minute to play. Now 54 seconds to play in the first half, so I think Delta's definitely going to have to hurry up, and that clock could be a problem if they don't do anything on these next couple plays.
And that first down carry for Delta also pushes them inside the red zone. So right now, plenty of time and running clock, but Delta's still a team with 3 timeouts.
So now Edwards under center once more. We'll get a man in motion here to the left side, but we'll get another carry here up the middle by Bond. And Bond will be stopped, but not after a gain of about 6 yards on first down. We'll get a timeout here by Delta. But after that first down carry, Delta set up inside the 10 on about the 5-yard line, second and 5. But for Pendleton Heights and their defense, just take a quick look on the recap so far tonight. They're doing a solid job. Of course, you've only given Delta 7 points so far, and in this drive specifically, of course, Delta was given very, very good field positioning, but they're not perfect, of course. You saw Caden Bond. He's been having a very nice night, a very good first half. He was running up the middle, and I think for Pendleton Heights, that defensive line is definitely going to have to put a bit more pressure on the run.
When you look at both sides of the defenses, it's kind of two tales of two different defenses. Delta's been able to stop and contain Pendleton Heights' run game. And on the other hand, for Pendleton Heights, they've been able to contain the passing lanes, but they struggle defensively keeping those running lanes to a limit or a minimum there for Delta's offense.
Yeah, so now 2nd and 4 here as Delta's offense takes back the field after the timeout. Ball on the 11-yard line. They're called scratch that, 5-yard line. Edwards under center, trips out right. Caden Bond behind him. Same formation as last time. This time it looks like a play action. Edwards will look back to throw, and did he find his target? It's incomplete. Couple receiver corners, Arabian defensive backs there to break up the pass, forces the third down.
Of course, that ball in his hands right there, just not able to get a clean grip on it to secure it. So for Pendleton Heights, you've got them right now at about 3rd and 4. And of course, just creeping in on the goal line. So if you can keep them without a touchdown going into halftime, if you could contain them to a field goal, that would be a win for this Pendleton Heights defense.
So 3rd and 4 now. Ball remains on that 5-yard line. 33 seconds to play in the second half. Delta leading 7-6. Under center, once again, that's Edwards. We got a jet sweep here to the right side, and there the running man for Delta will be chopped by his ankles there. Clint Miller going to chop him down. That was Jalen Jones on the carry, the wide receiver.
You talk about being sawed in half. A beautiful blow there by Clint Miller. He tried to hurdle him, and Miller kept his same level and just took him out from the ankle. So a 4th and short here for Delta. If you could hold him at the line defensively, that would be fantastic for this Arabian defense. Of course, that main goal is just keeping him out of the end zone.
Yeah, of course, as Ian was just mentioning, it's 4th and 1 here. 27 seconds to play. You got to think Pendleton Heights is going to want to stop him here. That's the ideal situation. And a field goal, I mean, this would be a very easy field goal, but Delta's going to stay out here, and I don't blame them. Of course, only a 4th and 1, and how you've been carrying the football in the run game so far, I'm expecting a run here, but then again, Pendleton Heights, you got to be ready for anything. Actually, watch this. It looks like they did send out the field goal unit. Brandon Stanley out here to kick this ball away. Delta will play it safe, and with the lead here, I also think that is also a smart decision. This one might be blocked. It was a close call, but Brandon Stanley will kick this one through the uprights.
But if you're Pendleton Heights defensively, you cannot hang your head on that drive right there. You were put in the game with pretty poor field position defensively, and to be able to hold them to 3 points right there is a win, especially going into the second half.
Yeah, so 10-6 after the field goal. Delta once again pushing their lead to 4 points. 23.2 seconds to play. Ian, do you think Pendleton Heights tries something here? Of course, you're trailing by 4 points, but after the pick, I don't know if you want to try anything too dangerous.
I think you got to field this kickoff cleanly and do whatever you can to move the ball down the field in the best, but you want to secure it. Passing game, that's not what I would go through right now if you're Pendleton Heights. We just saw the interception. No need to throw an interception in the last final seconds of the first half. I say you hit the ground game, but of course, last year against Delta, we did see some trickery in that Pendleton Heights offense. They pulled out that rugby play that was able to kind of stun that Delta team going into the break. And of course, Pendleton Heights came out in that second half with that momentum already in their favor.
Yeah, and as Ian was just mentioning there, really about this time of the game last season against Pendleton Heights and Delta, we saw the famous rugby play where Pendleton Heights had several pitches at the very end of the first half. We'll see if they try anything like that here tonight. We'll get a return here by Clint Miller, pretty much at that 5-yard line is where he'll field it. He'll take it out to about the 25. Looks like he'll be fielded exactly at the 25-yard line. So that's where Pendleton Heights will take the field, 1st and 10. And as Ian was just mentioning there, I think Coach Richmond is just going to be sticking to the ground. You don't want to try anything too dangerous, especially here deep in your own territory.
Just kind of looking at the huddle overall, you don't see any extra players out there that you wouldn't typically see. Yeah. So I'm definitely expecting something on the ground. And the worst scenario, you just run out the clock, regroup at halftime, and, of course, come back out in that second half.
Got a carry here up the middle for the Arabians. This one go for just about a yard, and with that, Arabians could end the half here. Looks like they will, so that'll do it for our first half on the scoreboard. Delta Eagles 10, Pendleton Heights Arabians 6. Delta with the lead, leading by 4 at the end of 2 quarters. But we will take a quick break. When we return, I was able to sit down with quarterbacks Coach Frazier for our halftime interview here on the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM.
Where does everyone come together?
Welcome to the Arabian Roundup with your host, Kennedy Quinn and Bella Myers. The Arabian Roundup is here every Tuesday through Friday from 5 to 7 a.m. The show rounds up your morning thoughts as they discuss the craziest of topics. From dad jokes to the latest Taylor Swift songs, the Arabian Roundup is here to perk up your mornings here on 91.7 WEEM.
Some parents, coaches, and teachers come together at the school to cheer on.
Welcome to
Celebrating high school sports unites us all, and that experience is essential.
Looking for something to listen to on your way home? Join Sam Duffer, Layla Reef, and Gracie Wolf every Tuesday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m., where we make sure that all your afternoons are news-filled and fun. Get a recap of the day and a good laugh. Tune in to the Arabian Stampede here on 91.7 WEEM.
Everywhere you go by downloading our app on your phone. It's called 91.
We welcome you here to the Arabian Sports Network halftime show. I'm Dawson Perrell. I'm joined here now by the quarterbacks coach for the Pendleton Knights Arabians, Coach Frazier. Thanks so much for joining me first off.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, but starting off here, of course, since the last time we talked, maybe a couple of weeks back, plenty has happened. Of course, you took back-to-back losses against Greenfield Central, then New Pal. Then you had a huge win at Mount Vernon on their homecoming against the school rival. So I kind of just want to recap the last couple of weeks. Of course, I was just mentioning you lost 2 in a row. You were heading into your rivals. Their homecoming was a big matchup, and you guys got the job done. Definitely, I'd say so far the biggest win of the season, both when it comes to just the game itself and also what surrounded the game. So really so far, for those 2 losses, for that past win, what have you seen from your quarterbacks, of course, specifically Isaac Wilson, Colton Frank, the guys we've seen reps from?
Yeah, sure. We've really focused this past couple weeks on battling adversity and how to handle that because we've seen a lot of it. And we've seen from both guys good ways of handling it and bad ways of handling it. And that's been my focus the past couple weeks of trying to get them to find the right mindset on how to handle that. I think we may have talked about that last time I was on here, but something that I was taught as a player and I want to help instill in these guys is responding with good no matter what happens. Like if something bad goes on, good. That's another opportunity to go get better on the next drive. Or if they throw a pick, well, that's good. Now I know not where to throw it, right? Or just in any instance, replying with good, being able to say the word good means that you are still able to cognitively be aware of what you're doing and be able to move on to the next thing. And you still have the ability to do that. So that's something we've been working on during the week. And I've past couple weeks, really, we worked on it through the week and I've seen it come to fruition on Fridays, which is really awesome. That was another thing we talked about this week, and that's kind of become our mantra for the season for the quarterbacks, and it's paying off for them.
Yeah, and of course, I want to look more in that Mount Vernon game. Of course, in that first half, you guys were definitely more pass central, but heading into the locker rooms after the halftime break, you guys definitely ran the ball a bit more. But nevertheless, a quarterback is still important, especially like Isaac Wilson when he's just so involved in that run offense. So really, when you're centralized around a run playbook or a game plan, what do you try to tell your quarterbacks to let them know that they're still in the game and they're still important?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of the time with that, it's a lot of mental things. So making sure you get your eyes to the right key read when the play starts. A lot of pre-snap stuff of knowing, who's responsible for you, who's responsible for your running back, who's responsible for the pitch guy. Like there's all sorts of things that you have to know as a quarterback more than the average person would probably realize they have to know, where they have to be able to break all that down, snap the ball, and then watch where all those people move and react. So they are very much involved in the run, even if they're not necessarily throwing the ball, or maybe even if they're not running the ball. They have to know, if they should give the ball or pull the ball or whatever it might be. They got to make the right read, carry out your fakes. We joke with the quarterbacks that they always forget. I tell them every day of their life, and they never really, they always forget. But it's always a good reminder that, hey, carry out your fake because it always matters. Somebody's watching you, and that's a good thing to be able to, use to your advantage if someone's, accounting someone for you, even if you don't have the ball, that can take that person away from the play. So making sure they understand all that, and really then it's just executing, good mesh drills. We do mesh drills every week where they just hand the ball off to the running backs because that's something as simple as that. But the more and more you do it, the less and less fumbles or balls on the ground or whatever might be end up happening. The more repetition you do it, kind of becomes like breathing for them. They can just do it without even looking, or they can do it with their eyes closed. So it's pretty good.
And focusing more on the Delta Eagles here tonight, of course, as the audience is listening to this, it's already halftime. But really, from your point of view, heading into this game this evening, from your coach Jesse and the other offensive coaches after scouting this Delta defense, what have you been trying to tell specifically your quarterbacks and the rest of the offense for this Delta team specifically?
Yeah, I told the quarterbacks this week it's time to attack. It is time to attack, and they should have a mentality of, trying to lay it on thick until I pull them off, right? Until the offensive coaches and us say, hey, it's time to dial it back. Like I want them to have a mentality of I'm relentless. I will not stop, and I'm going to go score as many touchdowns as I can before somebody pulls me off. And that's just the mentality I try and instill in them, because I think it's really important to have whoever you're playing. Doesn't matter if you're playing a, IU or Purdue or, the Delta Eagles. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who you're going up against. If you've got a mentality of I'm getting ready to kick that person's butt and they're not going to stop me and I'm going to hang 100 points on them until somebody pulls me off, and that's a very hard mentality to stop as an opposing defense to my quarterback. So they've done a great job with that. They've really been locked in this week. It's been really good to watch them stay focused and learn some of these new things we're putting in, and some of the old things we're still just, same old stuff that we're really trying to, get down and get perfected. And they're doing a good job, because when those things are perfected, that's when it starts to you can really utilize them as a true weapon. So, yeah.
Yeah, and we already talked to Coach Richmond in that pregame about, of course, it is homecoming here this evening, but from the quarterback's perspective, because it's just so gigantic, when it comes to just a noise coming into the homecoming game, and on top of that, the noise at that position. Of course, you were a quarterback in high school for LaPel, you were a quarterback at Taylor, you know what it's like to be in that position with a lot of noise. So how are you trying to tell Isaac Colton and the other quarterbacks when it comes to just cancel out the noise and play your game?
Yeah, I think one of the years I was at Taylor, the Taylor-IU game was always a big one, and there was about 8,000 people at one of our homecoming games for that one. So it's a lot of noise. So I'm lucky enough to be able to have those experiences that I can share with my quarterbacks. And, people like to talk trash. People like to yell and scream and be loud and can't hear a thing. And so, we've kind of got our own little language that we can use with our hands or our, even mouthing things sometimes to each other. Like we can kind of pick up on nonverbal cues to try and get each other straight. But mostly, it goes back to the mentality of focusing on what you can control and saying good when it doesn't happen. There's going to be things that go wrong tonight, I would assume. As much as I hate to say that, I'd like to think we'd be perfect, but I know we won't. So there'll be times when we mess up, and that's okay. Especially with a crowd like this, especially with a crowd that's 5,000, 6,000 people, however many it might be. With the homecoming floats on the track, and there's stuff to look at, and there's all sorts of stuff. Things will go wrong, and when those moments come, our quarterbacks are really starting to accept that idea of good. Like that's good. We can use that, and that fuels us a little bit. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. That's a fun environment to play in. I mean, I told them last week, there's nothing better than on a Friday night being able to see that many people out to cheer and watch you guys play football. And I try to get them not to take it too much for granted, because they don't realize how fast that goes. I could be the first one to tell you that it's those days fly, but they are some of the most fun nights they'll ever have. So I try to get them to enjoy it, because this is a fun night to enjoy for them. But also let's go kick some butt. That's kind of where I'm getting them at. So it's been a good week.
All right, but with that being said, that is all the time we have. Once again, Coach, thanks so much for joining me. Good luck tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
I try to get them to enjoy it, because this is a fun night to enjoy for them.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
All of our listeners, so go to our Instagram today to answer our daily poll.
At Pendleton Heights, radio is a huge part of our lives. From programming to social media to podcast to sports, our student-run radio station is dedicated to informing and entertaining everyone in and around our campus. We're with you every step of the day. Whether it be in your car, in class, at lunch, or at work, we're here to provide you with the local news and the best songs. Experience the full impact of radio today by tuning in to 91.7 WEEM. To learn more, go to our website at 917weem.org. We're here for our community.
Of high school sports is about so much more than winning and losing, setting records.
Looking for something to listen to on your way home? Join Sam Duffer, Layla Reef, and Gracie Wolf every Tuesday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m., where we make sure that all your afternoons are news-filled and fun. Get a recap of the day and a good laugh. Tune in to the Arabian Stampede here on 91.7 WEEM.
To your high school's athletic event.
This is showing support.
Back to Arabian football on 91.7 WEEM.
Welcome you back here to the Arabian Sports Network halftime show on 91.7 WEEM. If you're just tuning in alongside Ian Stevens, I'm Dawson Perrell. Currently at the halftime break in this evening's Hoosier Heritage matchup against the Pendleton Heights Arabians and the Delta Eagles. But on the scoreboard after first two quarters, Pendleton Heights trailing Delta 10-6. Taking a look now at the individual statistics, starting off with the visiting Delta Eagles. On the ground, it was obviously a lot of Caden Bond there in that first half. Bond had 8 carries, 49 yards, and a touchdown. He averaged 6 yards a carry. His longest was 13 yards. That came off of the touchdown there in that first quarter. Nolan Carpenter also got in there for 5 carries, 32 yards. He was averaging 6.4 yards a carry, and then there's some other guys. Edwards with 2 carries, and then Jones on a jet sweep, and then Lennon's with a carry as well. In total, Delta had 17 carries, 88 yards on the ground, a touchdown. They were averaging as a team 5.1 yards a carry. And then in the air, Bronson Edwards was 2 for 4. He had 28 yards. He took 1 sack there. His longest completion was a 15-yard catch to his favorite receiver, Damari Hood. By the way, Hood was the only receiver on the stat sheet for Delta. He had 2 receptions, 28 yards, averaged 14 yards a catch. And other than that is it. So Delta definitely there in that first half, a lot more of a run-centralized team. But, Ian, you want to take it away for Pendleton Heights?
You look at Pendleton Heights, they've definitely had to try to find their match offensively. They haven't been finding anything that's just outstanding to them, really taking over. You start with the passing game for Isaac Wilson. He's had a couple passes there, 9 completions out of 15, so his completion to attempt ratio is really good for 104 yards. You look at the rushing game, Isaac Wilson, 6 quarterback carries for over 24 yards, leads Pendleton Heights currently on the rushing game. Keaton Jones averaging 3 yards a carry, has 18 yards. Dresden Roberts only 2 carries so far for 13 yards. And then Bo Surface with a couple of carries for just 5 yards. Then you look at the passing game, Caden Sims leading that for reception, going for 50 yards. Of course, that big 34-yard pass completion to really get that first offensive play of the game going for Pendleton Heights. And Reese Wrightington, 3 receptions for 29 yards. Drake Stevens has 29 yards through 2 receptions. Nate Durolf, 6 yards on 1 reception. And Isaac Wilson, of course, we saw that one pass play behind the line of scrimmage that got blown up for negative yardage. But you look at the passing yards total compared to Delta, that's 113 yards of passing offense compared to just 28 yards of passing offense for Delta. So in this second half, this Arabian team's really going to have to find out their touch and come out here firing, ready to play defense.
Yeah, and if you're wondering what these cheers are, the seniors just won the competition for best float. I think it was definitely a close call. Juniors had a battleship-themed float, seniors with the Monopoly. But I think I got to agree there. I don't know if it's just bias, but seniors got a pretty nice float. But back to football here, Ian. As you were mentioning there, Isaac Wilson leading Pendleton Heights in both rushing and passing. That's not uncommon. We see that pretty much every night. Isaac Wilson, of course, I was mentioning there in that first half, such an elite quarterback when it comes to that dual threat ability, both in the air and on the ground. And on top of that, we saw a couple plays, as you're mentioning, from Colton Frank. He was 2 for 2 in that first half when it comes to Frank in as quarterback, Wilson in as either running back or wide receiver, and more of formations that at this point I wouldn't even say experimental because we see them so much. And although that first half might not have been the best case for it because both of those plays only went for 9 yards combined, it can definitely catch some defenses off guard, and I would definitely highly encourage, and I'm sure we'll see some of that here in this second half. But you take a look at that scoring summary here, just breaking it all down. Pendleton Heights got the scoring started off. It was a field goal there from Dominic Apo, the senior. The first one was 32 yards, just a yard away from his season long. That sprung Pendleton Heights there to a 3-score lead. And then there in that very beginning of the second quarter, I think earlier I said the first touchdown for Bond was in the first quarter. It was in the second quarter. Caden Bond ran it up the middle for a 13-yard touchdown. That gave Delta the lead 7-3 after the extra point by Brandon Stanley. And then the Arabians got in for yet another field goal with 5 minutes, 52 seconds to play in the second in the first half. That was a 33-yarder for Dominic Poe. That tied his season long. Again, 33 yards. That cut down the lead for Pendleton Heights to 7-6, or cut down the trail. Cut down the Delta lead 7-6. And then finally at the very end of that second half with 23 seconds to play, Delta was met with a fourth and very short, a 4th and 1, and they decided to go with the field goal, and Brandon Stanley kicked it through the uprights for a 19-yarder, and that got us where we are now, of course, 10-6. But we will take a quick break. When we come back, Ian and I will preview the second half just a bit more, and then after that, the second half will be kicked off here on the Arabian Sports Network halftime show, 91.7 WEEM.
91.7 WEEM. At Pendleton Heights, radio is a huge part of our lives. From programming to social media to podcast to sports, our student-run radio station is dedicated to informing and entertaining everyone in and around our campus. We're with you every step of the day. Whether it be in your car, in class, at lunch, or at work, we're here to provide you with the local news and the best songs. Experience the full impact of radio today by tuning in to 91.7 WEEM. To learn more, go to our website at 917weem.org. We're here for our community.
Come together to cheer as one, to build traditions, to show pride. High school sports. I'm Robert Falkins.
And I'm Janie Ulmer. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
High school sports by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
Welcome to the Arabian Roundup with your host, Kennedy Quinn and Bella Myers. The Arabian Roundup is here every Tuesday through Friday from 5 to 7 a.m. The show rounds up your morning thoughts as they discuss the craziest of topics. From dad jokes to the
91.7 WEEM.
We welcome you back here to the Arabian Sports Network halftime show on 91.7 WEEM. If you're just tuning in, currently on the scoreboard, Pendleton Heights trailing the Delta Eagles at the halftime break 10-6. But of course, Ian, we already broke down those first half statistics before the break, but really looking forward to the second half. What do you think Coach Richmond was telling his Arabians there in the locker room when it comes to just dialing in, coming back from this trailing 4 points, and hopefully taking the lead?
And just knowing Coach Richmond as a former player, he's going in there telling them just to take a deep breath and relax. You look at the scoreboard, you're in a one-possession ball game. And, of course, homecoming can bring in a lot of mixed emotions. Yeah. The most packed stadium you're going to play in all season long. All the people coming in, all the distraction with the parade, the floats. And just take a deep breath. There's so many people out here coming to watch you play. And it's not like any other day. They've been working out all week long. And you got to come out here and want it. Nobody else can go out there and do it for you. So you're going to have to stand your ground. You're going to have to find what works, and you're going to have to utilize it. You're going to have to block to the whistle. You're going to have to wrap when you tackle and make sure you're getting them down. Of course, Delta had a couple tackles from Pendleton Heights earlier that they were able to escape away from and get a couple extra yardage. And just being able to remain calm and do what they do every day. You know, they practice 4 days throughout the week, and nothing's going to change from you're just taking what you're learning in practice and trying to put it into a game with other people to hit, so it's a little nuts.
All right, but here Delta will start with possession as we open up the second half. Dominic Apo out on the field to kick this ball away to the Delta Eagles. In the backfield, returning for the Eagles, that it will be sophomore Gray Backus.
The thing for Pendleton Heights defensively there in that first half, only giving up 10 points. We saw some great spurts of defense there in that early first quarter. They had forced that 4 and out in their first defensive stop. If they can keep that up early here in the second half, it would really give their offense a good opportunity.
This one will be kicked high and long by Dominic Poe, fielded around the 15-yard line there and breaking out into space. It's Gray Buckus down the right sideline. It's off to the races, and he is wrapped up by the ankles. A touchdown-saving tackle by Keaton Jones, but a huge return by Backus all the way up into Arabian territory. He'll be down at what looks like the 25-yard line, or at least just before that.
When you talk about coming out of the break and setting the tone, Delta did exactly that. A great return. He allowed that defensive return team coming at him to find the holes and be able to manipulate around. And if it wasn't for Keaton Jones on that chase down, of course, that would have put a 2-possession ball game in Delta's favor.
So now 1st and 10, ball in the 26. Under center, that'll be Edwards. We'll get a handoff here up the middle by the Delta Eagles on 1st down. This one will go for about 3 yards there on first. That's Carpenter on the 1st down carry. Brings up 2nd and 8 for the Delta Eagles.
And only 2 yards allowed there by the Pendleton Heights defense. So a good job being able to kind of contain that run. And that's something they got to keep up. We saw some containing spots in that first half. But to be able to come out and do it majority of the plays is definitely going to be the key to the second half.
10-6 is our score. Delta with the lead. 11 minutes, 15 to play in the third quarter. Edwards under center now. 2nd and 8. Got a man in motion to the left. We'll get yet another carry here up the middle. This is Bond, who breaks out into the second level once again. He'll move the sticks. He's brought down just shy of the 10-yard line. 1st and 10, Delta Eagles.
And another big carry there by Bond as he's their go-to. He's over 70 carries after this game going through the season so far.
So once again, we saw this in the into the second half. Delta just outside of a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Edwards under center once more. You got a man in motion once more. Another carry here up the middle by Bond. The Arabians this time doing a very nice job not letting him get far. Gain of just about 2 yards on 1st down brings up 2nd and 8 for the Eagles.
So good job just being able to kind of pinch off. There's a little hole there. Bond tried to squeeze his way through, but the tackle and the nose guard kind of came together, blocking that off. So good job between Eli Libler and Brian Davis.
And, of course, that defensive line for Pendleton Heights, definitely something in the first half that they kind of struggled against the run. We were talking there, Caden Bond had a very good first half, but that play right there, holding only 2 yards, well below his average, show of some life. Yet another carry here up the middle. Bond does swing it out to the left sideline, but it's a nice wrap-up tackle there. I do believe that's Nick Trout or Dresden Roberts, one of the linebackers for Pendleton Heights, bringing him down. It'll be a gain to just about 3 yards on second, brings up 3rd and medium for the Eagles.
So right there defensively for Pendleton Heights, they were able to close off the inside, forcing Bond to try to bounce to the outside perimeter. And for Dresden Roberts there, a great job kind of tracking down and staying with them, preventing the outside rush lane.
It'll be counted as a 3rd and 5, ball on the 6-yard line. Huge play here for the Arabians defense. Edwards, shotgun. He'll look back to throw on 3rd down, fires quickly to the check down. That's Bond, and Bond breaks a tackle and makes his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Delta Eagles. They push their lead even further now, 16-6. As they're once again Pendleton Heights and their defense just unable to make the stop. They had a chance. There was a Pendleton deceiver that had a hit on him, but Caden Bond shredded the tackle, walked into the end zone.
And one of the big things they talk about in practice when it comes to tackling is you want to stay waist level or below. Of course, Miller comes up from the secondary to try to make that tackle, tries to check him around the shoulders, and able to shrug that tackle off.
Extra point here from Stanley is up and good. Now 17-6 is our score. 9 minutes, 7 seconds to play in the third quarter. We will take a quick break. You're listening to the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM.
Looking for something to listen to on your way home? Join Sam Duffer, Layla Reef, and Gracie Wolf every Tuesday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m., where we make sure that all your afternoons are news-filled and fun. Get a recap of the day and a good laugh. Tune in to the Arabian Stampede here on 91.7 WEEM.
Back to Arabian football on 91.7 WEEM.
We welcome you back here to John Broughton Field on the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM. On the scoreboard, Delta currently leading 17-6. We just saw a score there by Caden Bond, his second touchdown of the night. That pushed the Delta Eagles lead to 17-6. As now here, Clint Miller will take it out of the backfield, fielded it around that 1 yard line. He'll take it out to the 25, and that's where the Pendleton offense will take over here, 1st and 10.
So right now for this offense, their first opportunity at taking the offensive side of the field here in the second half. They just need to be able to take it slow and get some things rolling, as right now you're behind the 8 ball. There's now a 2-possession game.
So 1st and 10, ball on their own 26-yard line. Pendletonites Arabians will line up here. Isaac Wilson, shotgun formation. You got 2 wide receivers outright, 1 to the left, man in motion to the left side. We'll get a carry here up the middle for the Arabians. This one will go for just about 2 yards. Keaton Jones, the ball carrier. After the 2-yard carry by Jones, 2nd and 8.
Just nowhere to go there for Jones, though. Front, our line of scrimmage is definitely contested, so at that point, you just got to try to scramble and pick up any yardage you can find. For this Delta team, you having that nice lead, especially here in the second half, up by 11. There's nothing better for a football team to go into somebody else's stadium on a homecoming game like this and crash the party.
So 17-6 our score. Delta with a lead. Pendletonites now 2nd and 8. Isaac Wilson will fire over the middle. It is caught there by the senior Drake Stevens. Stevens will take it up to about the 45-yard line. He'll be counted down at the 44. New set of downs for Pendleton Heights. Solid gain there by the Arabians.
Great job there by Stevens. Kind of had the outside post. Was able to catch that ball. And that's a big thing with receivers across the game of football, is you have to be able to possession catch that ball before you can continue to really keep moving.
Yeah, and Stevens there. 2 catches in the first half. That'll be his 3rd. Wilson shotgun. Carry here up the middle for the Arabians. This one go for just about 5 yards, just that midfield mark. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on 91.7 WEEM.
Broadcasting from the WEEM studios, underwritten by Community Hospital Anderson, this is the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM Pendleton.
We welcome you back here to John Broughton Field on the scoreboard, 17-6. Delta with the lead. We got an interception here, it looks like. It was a quick throw by Isaac Wilson to that right side of the field. Not sure, Ian, I was looking at the scoreboard, but my guess is that one was just hit and then picked off of the ground.
So the slant going on the outside, coming across the middle, led him a little too far ahead of him, got off his fingertips, popped that ball up just enough to allow that Delta defense to really get under it and secure the ball for the interception. And for Isaac Wilson, that's his 2nd interception of the ball game, so has him up to 5 interceptions on the season. So for him, definitely out of pocket so far in this game.
Yeah, and that's not Isaac Wilson. Heading into the game, as Ian was just mentioning, only 3 picks, so nearly doubling or nearly meeting his whole season value, already with 2 on the game. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. We got a flag on the play. A wide open receiver down the right sideline. That is, it looks like that is the senior, Chase Ritchie, the junior tight end. on the reception. This one, my guess, is going to be coming back, though.
And although that great play, not a defender in sight for Pendleton Heights, but all that play has got to be coming back because it's going to be going down as a delay of game.
Something here. It might be illegal shift is what I think I heard from the PA. Either way, that'll be a 5-yard penalty on the Delta Eagles. Not only is that pushing them back 5 yards, but as Ian and I were just mentioning, that'll also negate that huge play from the Eagles there. Again, that was the tight end down the sideline. Chase Ritchie down the right sideline nearly got into the end zone. He was tackled around the 10-yard line, but again, that all doesn't matter. Huge lifesaver for the Pendleton Heights Arabians, as now Delta Eagles will line up 1st and 10, ball on their own 38-yard line.
And if you're Pendleton Heights team, and especially the defense, you better really be thankful for that play right there, because that would have put them inside the red zone, and just not having that receiver covered was definitely a break in the armor for Pendleton Heights.
Edwards here under center. Man in motion to the left side. Get a carry here up the middle once again. I think this is Bond. This one will go for about 3 yards on 1st down. Brings up 2nd and long. Scratch that, about 6 yards on 1st down. Again, that is Caden Bond on the carry. So 6-yard carry on 1st down brings up 2nd and 9.
So putting them just in front of that original yard marker at the line of scrimmage. So now looking at that 2nd and 9. A couple substitutions offensively for Delta and this Arabian defense. You really do not want to allow them across that midline. If you can hold them up here, that would definitely be ideal.
And the Eagles so far, not only in that first half, but also here in the second, you see a lot of runs, not too many passes whatsoever. Get a jet sweep here to the right side. Pendleton Heights all over that play, read it like a book. Tackle for loss there. Several Arabian defenders on the read and the tackle. It'll be a loss of about 4 yards on 2nd down. Brings up 3rd and very, very long for the Delta Eagles now.
That jet sweep, about 85% of the plays this Delta team's been running, they have a fake jet sweep running across the middle, and they've been handing it off to the dive back behind the quarterback. This time they go with option A, and great awareness by that Pendleton Heights defense being able to stop that on the outside.
It'll be counted as a 3rd and 13 after the TFL for the Arabians. Ball on the Eagles' own 40-yard line, and it looks like we might have a timeout here. Timeout for Delta, so we'll take a quick break. You're listening to the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM.
This presentation of the Arabian Sports Network.
Welcome to the Arabian Roundup with your host, Kennedy Quinn and Bella Myers. The Arabian Roundup is here every Tuesday through Friday from 5 to 7 a.m. The show rounds up your morning thoughts as they discuss the craziest of topics. From dad jokes to the latest Taylor Swift songs, the Arabian Roundup is here to perk up your mornings here on 91.7 WEEM.
Football on 91.7 WEEM.
We welcome you back here to Pendleton Heights High School on the Arabian Sports Network. If you're just joining us alongside Ian Stevens, I'm Dawson Perrell. On the scoreboard, Pendleton Heights trailing the Delta Eagles 17-6. 5 minutes, 26 seconds to play in the third quarter. Currently Delta with possession. It's a 3rd and 13 from their own 40-yard line. Pendleton Heights fans trying to make some noise. Edwards, shotgun, play action, will look to throw, and he is sacked. Sacked by, it looks like Eli Arthur. No, that's Dresden Roberts. The senior linebacker, Dresden Roberts, hitting the quarterback, bringing him down for a huge loss. Now 4th and 23, and Delta will go with the obvious choice with bringing out their punting unit to punt this ball away.
When you're needing something that big, of course, like a motivation, you want to stop the offense. Nothing better than getting a clean shot on the quarterback, as we saw right there, pushing Delta way back, 4th and long.
And for Pendleton Heights, it's not necessarily the defense that has been having trouble. It's more the offense, of course, only 6 points scored. Still looking for their first touchdown. We'll see if they can get it here as they're going to get the ball back. Clint Miller will field it around that 30-yard line, slips around, and will be tackled really at the 34. So really only about a 34-yard return by Clint Miller, and that's where the Arabians will start now, 1st and 10.
And, of course, your Isaac Wilson trotting out here for yet again another drive. 2 interceptions already. And that's one of those things you just got to clear the back of your mind, come out with a clean slate. You can't let those sit and linger on you. If you let that linger, it's just going to continue to be a downhill roll.
So 1st and 10, ball on their own 33. Isaac Wilson in the Arabian shotgun formation. Wilson will try it himself to the left side, and that will go nowhere. Looks like he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and the refs will give him a yard, but nothing much else. So after the first down carry by Wilson, 2nd and 9.
It just held up there, nowhere to go. The defensive lineman easily breaking through right there, holding them up. So not the play you're really wanting to see as a result on that first play, but of course, any little breakaway you can find here, it's crucial as you're over halfway through the third quarter.
So 2nd and 9. Ball now on the 34-yard line. Arabians line up. Shotgun. You got trips out right. Wilson will look back to throw. Under pressure immediately. Escapes a sack. And can't escape the second wave of them. He does get back to the line of scrimmage. Wilson was hit numerous times. I lost him in my side in a wave of white jerseys, but it looks like he did reach the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of only about an inch or two. Brings up 3rd and long for the Arabians.
And for Wilson, as soon as he was able to pop his head up, he already had that outside backer right in his face. A miracle for him to be able to escape that sack. But ideally, that's 2 tough plays back-to-back for Pendleton Heights. And you're just praying to get something rolling here. His time is starting to tick.
Yeah, it was Ryder Turner, the senior, that called his shot, blitzed in as soon as the ball was snapped, and, of course, caused the pressure. Wilson now 3rd and 8 will find Drake Stevens on the outside, and Stevens will have a first down and a bit more. Just shy of midfield, out of bounds on about the 47. A huge catch for the Arabians as they will move the chains and keep the drive going.
Nice play to the outside, and Drake Stevens getting that ball running towards kind of the hashes on the outside line and being able to pick up an extra 4 to 5 yards.
So now 1st and 10 after the Drake Stevens catch. Ball on the Arabians' 47-yard line. Pendleton Heights will line up once more. Shotgun. We'll get a keeper here by Wilson on 1st down. Wilson up the middle. We'll get a solid carry of 5 yards. On 1st down, brings up 2nd down.
Nice little quick pickup right there. And of course, now you're across that 50-yard line in Delta territory. You just got to continuously progress downfield.
So 2nd and 4, that carry will be counted as a 6-yard carry, not a 5. Wilson, once more, will line up shotgun. Spread formation. Wilson will look back to throw under immediate pressure. Steps up, fires to a wide-open Reese Reddington. Reese Reddington fields it at the 25. He'll be down at the 20. A huge connection, senior to senior. Isaac Wilson to Reese Reddington for an Arabian first down.
And a nice find right there. It's been kind of a very dirty backfield for Isaac Wilson all night long. Pockets collapsing very quickly. Not much time being bought for the senior quarterback, but being able to find that receiver, a huge play right there. But Marcus Bright, the strong safety there for Delta, a great job being able to read Reese Reddington with just a one-on-one. It's easy to get juked out there in that secondary position.
So 1st and 10 now. Wilson once more shotgun. He'll give it off to his back up the middle, and the back is immediately stuffed. Pile forms, but nowhere to go. That was Dresden Roberts on the carry. So after the gain of no yards, 2nd and 10, ball on the 22 for the Arabians. And you got to think, at this point for Pendleton Heights, the biggest goal is to get in the end zone. You've been in this position a number of times already tonight, but the problem is you haven't been able to cap it off. Your red zone percentage definitely hasn't been high. It's been 0% so far tonight. So I think the end zone is definitely where you're shooting for on this drive. Now 2nd and 10, Wilson, shotgun. You got 2 wide receivers to his right. He'll look back to throw. Has plenty of time, fires to the end zone. He's looking for Caden Sims, and it's caught. Pendleton Heights touchdowns. Refs still looking for the signal, and they give it to him. Touchdown Arabians. It's Wilson to Caden Sims. for the Pendleton Heights 6.
And a huge touchdown right there, scanning the field, nowhere to go, just lobs it right over on the backside. So it's either Caden Sims is catching it or nobody's catching it. And then, of course, the officials right there kind of lurk at it. It does appear we have a flag on the field, so this might be coming back. But you're just praying to get the right call, as in high school football, there is not a review system.
Yeah, we'll see what this is. I think the flag came in late. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, Pendleton Heights, their field goal unit or extra point unit is strutting out the field, getting ready to kick this one away.
And the area of this, it's looking like it could be against Pendleton Heights, as they are bringing an offense rather than having that PAT unit on the field.
Yeah, we'll see what this is. You're right. That is the offense, not the PAT unit. Ref still talking it over. As of now, the scoreboard reads 17-12. As I'm sure you guys can hear, they playing the fight song, but I wouldn't be too hasty, as we're not sure if this is entirely a touchdown for Pendleton Heights.
It was a pass interference against Delta. Declines. The touchdown stands, and Pendleton Heights, looking at that 2-point conversion, if they are successful here, it would put them down within a field goal.
Yeah, smart play for Pendleton Heights, as Ian was just mentioning. Say you convert on this 2-point conversion, it'll trim down the lead. Delta's lead only 3 points compared to 5, which isn't really much of a risk. 5-4. Wilson looks to throw on the 2-point conversions, fires to a left, and finds his receiver. It looks like that might be Dresden Roberts out of the backfield. It's tough to see. It was on the far side of the field, and sure enough, is that Nick Trout? That's Nick Trout from the backfield getting in for the 2-point conversion, and that'll trim down this Delta lead now 17-14 as Pendleton Heights finally gets into the end zone off of a Caden Sims touchdown, and then following that, the Nick Trout 2-point conversion.
That play drawn up to perfection. They have the motion, and even the lineman selling the run to the left side. You got to be careful as a lineman. You cannot get upfield, but you act like that run's going to the outside left. The defenders follow, allowing just enough time for, of course, Nick Trout to find that opposite field, and Isaac Wilson feeding them in there for the 2-point conversion. So Pendleton Heights, right now, you're back within 3 points.
It looks like this penalty here might be a penalty here that's going to be on the kickoff, as Pendleton Heights will line up here on the Delta's 45-yard line.
And most of the time, the penalties kicks only really get you up to the 50-yard line, so this pushing them into their own territory.
Could be looking at Dominic Poe's third touchback, of course, much shorter field than usual.
Touchback might be what you want. Last time they had a return for Delta, they nearly broke away for a touchdown.
Actually try the squib kick here, and Pendleton Heights got it on the onside kick. A surprise onside kick for Pendleton Heights is that Caden Sims. It might be Ryan Kiesling on the recovery. It was a beautiful kick by Dominic Poe. Put it right on that left sideline. Not a Delta player in sight. And just like that, Pendleton Heights will be right back on offense, 1st and 10. Ball on the Delta's 25-yard line.
Right there, you got to find when Delta's in their most vulnerable state, they just give up that touchdown. They had a penalty that already pushed the ball on the other side of the field. You're expecting this kick, and Dama Poe had the perfect kick off the turf. And of course, Ryland Kiesling running down the sideline, able to secure it.
And we got Colin Frank here, a bit of trickery. Flea flicker. Pendleton Heights fires for the end zone. Incomplete. It was a jet sweep. Pendleton Heights, a double reverse jet sweep, and then back to Colton Frank, the quarterback. He fired to the end zone. I think Nate DeRolf was the intended receiver there, but incomplete, 2nd and 10.
When you talk about trickery, you go the onside kick to get the ball off, and then, of course, you'd go that double flea flicker to the end zone. For Pendleton Heights, yes, you're trying to find something to score again, but you have to be smart with the ball as well.
Quick correction, that was Caden Sims on the target there. Again, incomplete, 2nd and 10. Ball remains on the Delta 25. Wilson back in his quarterback shotgun. You got trips out to the right. He'll look back to throw, fires across the middle. It is nearly caught. Reese Reddington had a hand on it. Would have been a one-handed grab. Say he pulled it in, but it hits the turf, incomplete. 3rd and long now. Pendleton Heights trailing 17-14, under a minute to play here in this 3rd quarter.
And then right now you're looking, Pendleton Heights are sitting just outside the 25-yard line. If you're not able to pick up a first down now, if you could move the ball, say, another 6 to 7 yards, that puts a potential to put Dominica Poe inside field goal territory.
Wilson, shotgun, trips out right once more. Looks back to throw, fires quickly to the right sideline. It is incomplete, a bit inaccurate there. He felt the pressure, hits the turf. And now Pendleton Heights met with a situation. This is a tough call. It's on the 25. I think it's maybe just a bit too long for a field goal. I'm not sure exactly. Again, the longest we've seen from Dominica Poe, a 33-yarder. But then again, I think it's a bit too short to go for a punt. At that point, there's not really much reason. I think Pendleton Heights will go with, I guess, the third choice, which is to go for it. Here, 4th and 10, Pendleton Heights offense staying out on the field. Sure enough. And empty backfield here for, it looks like, Colton Frank and his quarterback. And there is the pressure instantly. Delta, no time for Colton Frank. Couldn't even get his thoughts together, get through his first read. A sack for Delta, turnover on downs, and that's a huge momentum stop for Delta.
You think for Pendleton Heights, you just got that onside kick. Everybody's hyped up. You're ready to go. And then to turn into going for it on 4th down and instantly sacked is for Colton Frank nowhere to go. He basically just closed down and had to take it. And for Pendleton Heights offensively, every time they have put Isaac Wilson somewhere outside of the quarterback position, the plays have not worked so far. So I get you're trying to look at some different options, but you have to continue to do with what works.
Edwards here, shotgun, will get a carry up the middle. This one going nowhere, just about a yard to show for it. So after the first down carry, 2nd and 9. Clock running here now, just over 30 seconds to play in the third quarter. 17-14, Delta lead.
With the game clock, they're going to have to play at least one more snap here in this third quarter. 20 seconds on the game clock, 26 seconds on the scoreboard. So for Pendleton Heights, a nice stop defensively on that first carry. If you could get a third down right here, especially in Delta territory, that would be great.
Edwards under center, 2 wide receivers out left, 1 out right. Going to carry here up the middle once more for Eagles. And once more, Pendleton Heights not letting anything happen too drastic. A gain of just about a yard. Brings up 3rd and 8 for Delta.
That's 2 great back-to-back stops defensively, stopping them at the line of scrimmage. So as you go into this fourth quarter, you're trailing by 3, but one stop here, and you're going to be putting Delta in a tough situation to punt the ball the opposite field.
Yeah, as Ian was just mentioning, that'll do it for a third quarter. Scoreboard, Delta Eagles 17, Pendleton Heights Arabians 14. We'll take a quick break. Don't you guys go anywhere. Fourth quarter up next on the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM.
This presentation.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Some see a student.
Back to Arabian football on 91.7 WEEM.
We welcome you back here to the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM. If you're just tuning in alongside Ian Stevens, I'm Dawson Perrell on the scoreboard. Pendleton Heights trailing the Delta Eagles here at home 17-14 as we get underway here in the fourth quarter. It's a 3rd and 6, Delta Eagles with possession. Ball currently on the Eagles' 34-yard line. A huge play here for Pendleton.
And you have 2 back-to-back stopped runs, so you're expecting the pass game. Watch out for Damari Hood.
Edwards, shotgun, looks to throw, fires, finds his target. Looks like he is just a bit short, about a yard off of that first down marker. That was, sure enough, Damari Hood. As Ian was just mentioning, you got to watch out for him. But Edwards found his favorite target on the curl route. Again, he was just about a yard or 2 short. So 4th down here, and it looks like Delta once more will send out the punting unit. They've been playing very conservative, but that doesn't mean you got to watch out for the fake here. Of course, as Ian, you talked about on Delta's very first punt, they're a trick-full team. They got a bag full of tricks, so you got to watch the fake.
And especially with only 2 yards to that first down, you got to keep an eye. But for Delta passing, 3 pass completions throughout this whole game, all to Damari Hood.
Sure enough, this one will be punted away here by Landon Brooks. Fielded by Clint Miller on that 25-yard line, and he won't get really anywhere with it, maybe a yard on the kickoff return. So Pendleton Heights will start their drive here, 1st and 10. Ball just past the 25-yard line on the 26, as Isaac Wilson and company takes the field once again here this evening.
For the punt returners, it's always hard whenever you have multiple defenders crashing you from different angles. You have the stress of just catching the ball and not muffing it, and then just to be able to try to pick up yardage. A little bit difficult there, but as you mentioned, Pendleton Heights, of course, took that sack on 4th down on that last drive ago and trying to find that end zone like they did back just a couple possessions.
1st and 10, ball in the Pendleton Heights 28-yard line. We'll get a carry here by Keaton Jones. Jones breaks out. He's into open space. He's at the 40. We have a flag at the 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Pendleton Heights. We do have a flag. This one might be coming back. I don't want to get the audience too excited now. The flag came from the secondary, but sure enough, Pendleton Heights reached the end zone. We'll see what this penalty marker is.
You can just see the frustration up and down Pendleton Heights coaching staff. Yeah. You have a beautiful play, good outside blocking by Reese Reddington, but that appears to be where that holding call's coming from. You're either, right now, refs are officiating whether it's a holding or a block in the back, but nonetheless, there was great holes. Keaton Jones found it. And that's going to go back 10 yards. A very unfortunate play.
Yeah, that's really tough. Arabians fans definitely not happy with the call, but you got to watch those downfield blocks. I mean, on a breakout play like that, sometimes the wide receivers will get a bit too excited. They want to get the touchdown so bad that they might hold a bit or they might block in the back. So that's really unfortunate for Pendleton Heights. Not only does that push them back a bit, but on top of that, of course, negating the very, very long penalty. But this will still remain 1st and 10. Of course, the holding was very far down the field. So,
as you mentioned, that is a big thing for the offense. You could be looking at 1st and 20, but since the penalty was past the down of distance, they will be able to complete that 1st and 10.
Yeah, so 1st and 10 here, ball on the Eagles' 40-yard line. Wilson shotgun once more. We'll get a carry here once more by Keaton Jones. Jones will fight for a couple extra yards. This will go for about 4 yards on 1st down, brings up 2nd and 6 for the Arabians.
So great job there by Keaton Jones, just really clawing forward. He was only going to get about 2, but ended up picking up an extra 2 to 3 yards, using his feet and hands to get forward.
17-14 our score here. Delta with the lead. 10 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. Pendleton Heights currently with possession of the football. 2nd and 6. Ball on the Eagles' 44-yard line. Wilson shotgun. Wilson will try it himself up the middle. He'll get, looks like 2 that 1st down marker. So 1st down for Pendleton Heights as Wilson crosses into Eagle territory down on the 49-yard line.
Great job being able to just keep pushing forward, as you mentioned, across that midline. And right now, the last couple plays, the run's been working. They've had a couple pass plays that have really broke out for some yardage, but you look at the passing game, 2 interceptions. So if you have a run game that's working, there's no need to defer away from it.
1st and 10 here. Pendleton Heights up the middle on the carry. That's Dresden Roberts. Roberts running through defenders. He'll be tackled at the 30-yard line. We do have flags once again flying in. Again, similar to that those flags we saw on the Keaton Jones carry. This one also coming in from the secondary.
This appears to be a face mask call just by the motions of Pendleton Heights. So if this is going in their favor, you're going to add another 10 to 15 yards on top of your gain so far.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you there. I didn't see too many blockers by Pendleton Heights in the first half, or in the first place down the field. So sure enough, this is a personal foul here. And that'll push Pendleton Heights deep into Eagle territory, even deeper than they would have been before. Ball now just shy of the 15-yard line on the 16. 1st and 10, Pendleton Heights.
So in red zone territory, but that's kind of a make-up call from earlier. I guess earlier you would have had a touchdown. But in a sense, you're in good position now. At least you're in territory for a field goal if that comes to that. But With only 16 yards from the end zone, you're looking to find that 6 point.
So 1st and 10. Ball at the 16. Another run here up the middle. This one won't go for anywhere as near as many yards there on that previous carry. Just about a yard on 1st down, brings up 2nd and 9.
So run plays have been working the last handful of plays, but of course, finally one play that Delta was actually able to stand up this Arabian offense. Because it's just going to get tighter and tighter, of course, the closer you get to that goal line.
That was Dresden Roberts on the previous carry. 2nd and 8 now. Wilson drops back to throw. Under pressure, fires, finds his target. It's complete. There, Reese Reddington on the catch. It looks like he is just shy of the 1st down marker, about a yard short. So the 3rd and short now for Pendleton Heights.
And a lineman appears to be down. Never good to see a lineman go down and instantly grab for that knee.
Yeah, as Ian was just mentioning there, we do have an injury here on the field, a Pendleton Heights player on the turf. So we will take a short break. You're listening to the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM.
Not everyone can be a champion in high school.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Second classroom, and to protect high school sports for future generations to come.
At Pendleton Heights, radio is a huge part of our lives. From programming to social media to podcast to sports, our student-run radio station is dedicated to informing and entertaining everyone in and around our campus. We're with you every step of the day. Whether it be in your car, in class, at lunch, or at work, we're here to provide you with the local news and the best songs. Experience the full impact of radio today by tuning in to 91.7 WEEM. To learn more, go to our website at 917weem.org. We're here for our community.
We welcome you back here to the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM. On the scoreboard, Pendleton Heights currently trailing the Delta Eagles 17-14. They currently have possession of the football here deep in Eagle territory. Currently, we still do have an injured player here for Pendleton Heights on the field. Something to be noted, Peyton Pollock, who's been playing tight end originally, who's been playing tight end for majority of the game, is switching jerseys back to his 60 number. He was wearing 38, but he's now switching back to his 60. And, of course, you can assume that he'll be moving back to that O-line position.
And as we mentioned, of course, the lineman going down, as that tight end number does not make you eligible to go into one of the 5 offensive linemen. So the quick jersey switch and great alertness there by the coaching staff, and instantly getting that jersey, pulling his off and getting switched out. So Pollock, he's been playing some offensive line the past couple seasons, so it's not out of pocket for him. Today was kind of his experiment outside of that offensive line.
It is going to be a 1st and goal here on that last reception by Reese Reddington. They did give the 1st down to him, so 1st and goal, ball on the 6-yard line. Pendleton Heights lines up, shotgun formation. Get a carry here by Dresden Roberts up the middle, and Roberts fights his way into the end zone. Pendleton Heights touchdown. A 6-yard rushing touchdown by the senior Dresden Roberts will give Pendleton Heights their first lead since the first quarter.
His first rushing touchdown of the season for Dresden Roberts, just being able to pick up yardage like a freight train. It's definitely not the running back you want to see if you're a Delta defender.
And that's got to feel good for Roberts. As Ian was just mentioning, ton of yards, 191 yards heading into this game this evening. No touchdowns, but here, this will be his first touchdown of the season. The extra point by Dominic Capoe is good as well. That'll push the Arabian lead now 20-17, 9 minutes, 1 second to play in the fourth quarter. We will take a quick break. You're listening to the Arabian Sports Network, 91.7 WEEM.
This presentation of the Arabian Sports Network is underwritten by Dr. Dannerite's Dental Studio. Dental Studio.
Back to Arabian football on 91.7 WEEM.
Welcome you back here to John Broughton Field on the Arabian Sports Network. Pendleton Heights just took their first lead since the second quarter. It's actually 21-17. Before we went on a break, it said 2017. The extra point hadn't been added onto the scoreboard. So after the extra point, 21-17, Pendleton Heights lead, 9 minutes, 1 second to play in the fourth quarter. Dominic Capone, the kickoff unit, back on the field here this evening to kick this ball away to the Delta Eagles.
That PA attempt was huge because not only are you up just that field goal, now you have a one-possession game because of that touchdown rather than just Delta being able to go down and kick a field goal to tie.
Here's the kickoff for Dominic Poe. This one short. It'll bounce. Is that out of bounds? It's a flag. It's a very close call. But sure enough, that one will roll out of bounds. So with that penalty, Delta will start here on the 35-yard line.
And that was one of the things we talked about early on is Damapo. His only struggle when it comes to kickoff is keeping the ball inside the sidelines. And that one, it was close to being a touchback, just a matter of inside or outside the pylon.
Yeah, very, very close, as Ian was just mentioning. Really went out of bounds on that 1-2 yard line. So fortunately, Pendleton Heights on the rough end of that bad bounce as Delta will start here. 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Bronson Edwards so far this evening, quarterback, hasn't been seeing too much action in the air. More of a ground team so far this game, and it's been working. Of course, 17 points on the scoreboard. Let's see if they stick to it or change it up. Here on 1st and 10, Edwards will look to throw. He's under pressure, has to fire over the middle, finds his target. That's Hood. This ball's out, and this might be Pendleton Heights football. They say they have it. Ref's still letting to give a call. And yeah, it's Pendleton Heights football. Huge fumble recovery. It was Damari Hood that the ball was knocked out, and Pendleton Heights will take over now 1st and 10 once again.
And the luck of the draw there, it was very close on whether it could be considered a fumble or if the receiver was down. For Pendleton Heights, they got the benefit of the doubt, and now Damari Hood slow to get off the field and makes probably maybe some cramps, but also some embarrassment when fumbling the ball.
Yeah, and as you just mentioned, there was a very close call, and of course we got no replay, so Pendleton Heights is going to get lucky with that call. It was very close. I think it could have gone either way, but refs get the final say, and that is a fumble. 1st and 10 will get a carry here by Keaton Jones up the middle. Keaton jukes his way to inside Eagle territory, past midfield, just shy of the 45. 2nd and 3 now for the Arabians.
Keaton Jones doing a great job jumping out in between the guard and the tackle, finding that hole right there, and picking up a nice gain of 7. And right now, about just under 8.5 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. If you're Pendleton Heights, you want to milk this clock like no other. You want to take it down to very little time if Delta ends up getting that ball back.
So 2nd and 3 now for the Arabians. Shotgun formation once again. We'll get a carry here by Keaton Jones, and that Delta D-line all over that play. It'll be a loss of about a yard on 2nd down. Brings up 3rd and short for the Arabians.
So right there on the offensive line, allowing that big nose tackle to get in there and stop the play, but still you're just about 4 yards away from a 1st down.
That was Jennings Wine, I do believe, with the tackle for loss. The junior entering the game, 4.5 tackles for loss on the season. Not sure if he had any today, but say he hasn't, that would be his 5th. So now 3rd and 3 for the Arabians. Once again, Isaac shotgun formation. They'll give it off to Dresden Roberts, and Roberts will barrel his way for a 1st down. Pendleton Heights keeps on moving those sticks. He got tackled there just shy of the 40-yard line on the 30, or the 42. It's Pendleton Heights, again, 1st and 10 after the 1st down.
If I'm Coach Richmond and Pendleton Heights, anytime I'm needing just a chunky yards, 3 or 4 yards, Dresden Roberts is going to be my go-to guy, putting him in there, maybe even giving him a blocker, but he's just like an avalanche coming down a mountain. Anything in his path, he's going to find a way to push through.
So now 1st and 10, ball on the 47. Wilson shotgun spread formation. Wilson will keep it himself up the middle, breaks out into open space at the 30s, escapes a tackle, still on his feet. He'll finally be wrapped up by several white jerseys there, just past the 30-yard line on about the 29. New set of downs for the Arabians.
Earlier we saw some struggling high tackle offensively for Pendleton Heights, and now it's starting to float into this Delta defense. Both or 2 to 3 players trying to stop it. Wilson right there coming around that helmet to shoulder pad level. And Wilson, he's one of those agile players. He can spin and quickly get out of any tight spot.
All right, so here 1st and 10, Pendleton Heights with the lead, 21-17, and the ball on the 28-yard line. What a carry here for Keaton Jones on that left side. Jones breaks down to open space. He's off to the races and into the end zone. Keaton Jones for the touchdown. We got another flag, though, and my guess is this one's coming back. I don't know if it's another hold either on a Pendleton Heights offensive lineman or a wide receiver, but sure enough, this one will be heading back. Another devastating run for Keaton Jones. Gotten into the end zone, but just can't quite count it.
If you're Keaton Jones, you got to be a little bit frustrated. That's your second touchdown of the game that has been called back because of holding. And, you know, as linemen and blockers just across the game, as you're trying to block for your guy, but if your teammates already way past you, there's no need to throw in extra blocks behind the play.
Yeah, here a little chant coming from the Arabian student section. Not happy with that last call there, but once again, similar to the first holding call we saw, that got the Keaton Jones touchdown called back. That was in the secondary, so it won't be a 10-yard loss. Instead, it'll be 1st and 7 for the Arabians. Ball on the 25-yard line. Keaton Jones down the right. He's at the 10, the 5, and will be tackled just shy of the end zone on about that 5-yard line. Now 1st and goal for the Arabians. Couldn't quite get into the end zone, but still is going in the right direction.
That's a beautiful way to answer that. You could be upset and everything about not getting that touchdown, but be able to rack up for another good 20-plus yard carry, putting your team right just outside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and maybe Keaton Jones, that touchdown getting called back wasn't the worst thing, because say you get a touchdown here, you might be able to waste off some more clock, of course, with the lead as well as with the ball. Dresden Roberts with the carry, spins his way. He's down at about the 2-yard line there. So 2nd and goal. Ball now on the 2-yard line. Arabians with the ball in the lead, 21-7. 5 minutes, 38 left to play in the 4th.
For any team having any thoughts of tackling Dresden Roberts, you might as well bring 2 to 3 guys to every single time he carries that ball.
2nd and goal, Arabians. Wilson, shotgun formation. Roberts the back beside him. Wilson will keep it himself to the right side, and Wilson will juke his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Pendleton Heights, as they push their lead now 27-17, awaiting the extra points.
Pendleton Heights, already a 2-possession game with under 5.5 minutes to play. So you had some struggles there early on, not able to get exactly what you want. But now that you got that 2-score lead, it's up to the defense to come out here and scratch and claw to stop any movement in that Delta offense.
Dominic Capo heading into the game, 21 for 21 on PATs. I think he's only missed a couple in his varsity career. Those came his sophomore season. Very consistent kicker, as he will get another one through the uprights here to push the Pendleton Heights lead, 28-17. 5 minutes, 18 seconds to play for the Arabians. We'll stay right here. For Pendleton Heights, of course, I think momentum is the word to use, right? As Ian, you were just mentioning, you were trailing there big, and I wouldn't say big, but it was a multiple score trailing for Pendleton Heights heading into the second half. Even starting the second half, it was 17-6. I think was the biggest deficit that Pendleton Heights saw, and they clawed their way back. Not only not letting Delta get any points on the scoreboard, but putting up 22 of their own points.
You look at that 11-point deficit that Pendleton Heights was able to overcome. And you look at that 11-point deficit that Delta's looking at right now. So this game's by no means over. Plenty of time for Delta to come back. And this Delta team, they're going to fight. You know, they got that running back in the backfield and Bonds. You know, they got Damari Hood, the receiver who's been their guy all season long, going to be coming out and ready to play. So you really have to find a way just to shut every play down and really just demoralize and take the soul out of Delta.
Dominic Poe out here to kick this ball away to the Delta Eagles once again in the backfield. Returning for the Eagles, that is Jalen Jones and Gray Backus. Gray Backus, of course, he was the one that had the big return there opening up the second half. He'll field this ball here at about the 5-yard line. He's going to be chased down at the 10. No, the 5. Not a smart play by Backus. It was going to go into the end zone. It was really bouncing that towards the end zone there, and then Backus decided to catch it really at the goal line and then take it back out. But he's tackled at the 5-yard line. I'm sure that Coach Overholt for the Delta Eagles not too happy with that play there.
He'll definitely be getting in a talking to on the sideline. You go from the 20-yard line to now trying to pick it up and not only settling for the 5, so that's a 15-yard difference.
Yeah.
Of course, trailing in double figures with only 5 minutes to play. Every inch and yard of this final couple minutes is going to matter for Delta.
So 1st and 10 now, ball on the 5-yard line. Edwards under center. Bond to the back. Good Bond here, first down. He'll go for just about a yard or two on first down. Brings up second for the Arabians.
For Bond, just not much room there to go anywhere. Kind of just stutter in his steps for a couple seconds and eventually able to pick up a gain of 2.
So 2nd and 6, we'll get a jet sweep here for the Delta Eagles. Breaking out into open space now down the right sidelines. A big hit by Clint Miller, saving the touchdown, but a very, very good gain on the jet sweep to the right. The Eagles getting all the way down to the 30-yard line, 1st and 10.
And once again, another one of those option sweeps. They've been, of course, attacking with Bonds, play after play after play. And every time they've gone with that jet sweep, they've had some success, and this time definitely pushed it up for over 20 yards.
So 1st and 10, once again for the Eagles. Edwards, spread formation. He'll look back to throw. Fires. It's going to be caught here on the short route. This will be caught for about a 6-yard gain. Brings up 2nd and 4. The catch made there by the receiver for the Delta Eagles, Cooper Bratton.
So right now, Delta, they don't have a whole lot of time to be setting up for huddles. They need to be on the ball. Because not only are you going to have to score, you're going to have to find a way to get that ball back.
Edwards looks back to throw, and he has brought down a sack there. That looks like Rylan Kiesling with the sack. Nope, scratch that. That's Peyton Pollock. Pollock having himself a night on both sides of the ball. With that sack, it'll push back the Eagles. Now 3rd and 4. Ball on their own 36-yard lines. Pendleton Knights currently leading the Eagles 28-17. 3 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the 4th.
That was Pollock's 2nd sack of the game, 3rd sack on the season, and Delta a lot of time ticking away when they're back in the huddle.
So 3rd and 4 here. Edwards looks back to throw. Fires right side. It is knocked out. A huge hit. Who is that? That is Clint Miller on the pass breakup. It was intended there for Jalen Jones. But again, Clint Miller came in from that strong safety position, knocked that ball loose. Now 4th and 4 for the Eagles.
A huge play. That brings up this is the deciding 4th down of the game for Delta. If you want any shot at trying to make that 11-point comeback, you must get through this 4th down.
So 4th and 4 here. Eagles on their own 35-yard line, trailing 28-17. Edwards, spread formation, looks back to throw. Fires quickly there, finds his receiver. It's caught. It'll be a 1st down. That is the tailback, Caden Bond, with the catch out of the backfield. Bond will be pushed out of bounds at that 45-yard line. New set of downs, Eagles.
For Pendleton Knights defensively, if they can hold on to this lead, they will clinch their first winning season since 2020.
Fires across the middle, a wide open receiver, but it's overthrown and incomplete. The target there for the Delta Eagles, that was Zane Klein, the defensive back and wide receiver, plays both sides of the ball. Clint Miller had a chance to pick that ball off, but wasn't able to haul it in. So with that incompletion, brings up 2nd and 10, ball staying where it's at the 45-yard line.
So now sub 3 minutes to play here for Delta. You're down 11. You still got 55 yards to the end zone. So, of course, they're going to be trying for that one big play to break open some space.
2nd and 10. Edwards drops back to throw once again. In trouble. Tries to scramble away, but he is taken down. It was Eli Arthur as well as Eli Libler there for the sack.
A big-time stop right there as time still expiring as some motion there in the offense.
3rd and 11. Edwards drops back, fires short. It is a fumble picked up by the Arabians. A fumble recovered by Pendleton Heights. They'll take over in Delta territory. 1st and 10. It was Dresden Roberts who picked it up. I think it was Drake Stevens or Jacob Rowley who punched the ball out. Either way, Pendleton Heights will take over possession here inside Delta territory on the 45.
We still have a flag down further in the field, but even if this wasn't unsportsmanlike conduct against Pendleton Heights, regardless, the interception should still remain the ball. We're actually going to change that to 3rd down.
Yeah.
3rd and short for Delta, so that interception totally erased here for Pendleton Heights.
Not sure what the penalty was. It might have been pass interference, defensive holding. Not entirely sure. Either way, as Ian was mentioning, interception taken off the board. 3rd and 1 now for the Delta Eagles here. Ball inside Arabian territory on the 46. Timeout, Pendleton Heights here. They're going to want to talk things over. Coach Huth, guess he didn't like what he was seeing on that defensive formation. But you look forward for Pendleton Heights on the schedule. Their next game will be on the road October 6th. They will travel on out to Yorktown to play on one of the few grass fields remaining in the Hoosier Heritage Conference against the Yorktown Tigers. The Tigers currently heading into this Friday's matchup. They're currently facing the Greenfield Central Cougars. Heading into that game, their overall record 4-2. They're 2-2 in the conference. They're on a 2-game winning streak, so if they can upset the Greenfield Central Cougars, I think is a very reasonable outcome. That'll be quite the game for Pendleton Heights. Either way, it will. But of course, on the road, Yorktown, that won't be easy. And then after that week, the final week of the regular season, Pendleton Heights will be back at home to face off against the Shelbyville Golden Bears October 13th for, again, the final game of the regular season. And then for the Delta Eagles, their next game will be at Greenfield Central, then back at home against New Pal. Their next 2 matchups after this one will be arguably against the 2 best teams in the conference. So now 3rd and 1 here. Ball on the Arabians' 46-yard line. Edwards, shotgun, trips out right. We'll get a carry here by Bond up the middle. Bond will have the first down and a bit more. Refs will count him down at just about the 43-yard line.
You look ahead for Yorktown next week. That Yorktown team, doesn't matter what year it is, they're going to be coming ready to take some or give you some body blows that this Pendleton Heights team is going to have to be aware of.
1st and 10. Edwards looks over the middle and finds his target. That's Chase Ritchie on the connection. It'll be about a 20-yard play there on 2nd down. So new set of downs here for the Eagles. Edwards will give it off to Bond. And Bond will get about 2 yards here. This play might have been blown off. No, it looks like he will get about 4 yards there on that first down carry. Now 2nd and 6. Once again, Delta wasting no time. Edwards looks to throw on 2nd down. In trouble. Scrambles left side. Still doesn't find anyone and will finally be brought down. He does break away from the sack. Crosses the line of scrimmage. He'll gain about 3 yards on the rush. Brings up 3rd and short for the Eagles. And once again, Edwards wasting no time getting to the line. Shotgun. Trips out right. Looks back to throw. Fires across the middle. It's caught. Touchdown, it looks like. Yep, touchdown, Delta Eagles. I think that was Chase Ritchie on the reception there. And the Eagles will push this game back into a 1-score game. This game is not over for Pendleton Heights. There's 1:20 left to play on the clock. There are Pendleton Heights leading now 28-23 after the catch. That was indeed Chase Ritchie on the 10-yard reception there. But for Pendleton Heights now, you just got to make sure you can get this ball back and hopefully run out this clock. But before we can get on to that, we do have the extra point or the 2-point conversion. Let's see. I guess if they go for the 2-point, wouldn't really matter. It would be a 4 or 5 point game. So we'll see what the Eagles decide here.
And for Pendleton Heights, your job here is PAT does not matter to you whether they hit it or not. You have to have all hands on deck and awareness when it comes to bringing out that return team on special teams, because it's especially going to be an onside or some sort of formational kick.
They go for 2. They get it. Penalty flag on the play. We'll see what this is. And again, we were talking there. Say they get this 2-point conversion, it'll be a 4-point game. If they get the extra point, it'll be a 5. 5 and 4s, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter that much. Of course, once you get to the 3 conversation, then the score will start to matter. So I'm not sure if Delta just wants to put points on the scoreboard or either way, but looks like it might be an illegal shift if I heard that correctly. Either way, this 2-point conversion will be wiped off of the scoreboard, and it'll push back Delta back. They're now going to be on the 8-yard line, and now it looks like they're going to send out the extra point unit.
As you take a look from where they were at previously, that 3-yard line to the 8-yard line, that's a 5-yard difference. Against this Pendleton Heights defense in the second half, does not put great odds in a run play. So as you mentioned earlier, regardless of a 2-point conversion or field goal, it's not going to add too much.
Scratch that. They will be going for 2 here from the 8-yard line. Edwards, shotgun, looks back to throw. Fires short to Bond. Bond will not get it. So they stop the Delta Eagles. They keep it a 5-score game, or a 5-point game. So 28-23 remains the score here. A minute 20 to play. And here comes the big deciding factor. I'm sure for Pendleton Heights, you will 100% be expecting an onside kick. I'm not sure how many timeouts the Eagles have. I know they've used a couple here and there in the second half, if I am correct there, but I think they do still have a couple left in the bag. So either way, I think you can expect an onside kick.
Pendleton Heights, you have the lead. You got one job to finish this game out, and that is to find a way to recover this onside kick. And when it comes to these guys out on the field, and when your job is to just make sure you get your hands on it, it becomes a little stressful. The whole kind of game could be up in your hands if you would perhaps allow the other team to get it or you muff it. So there's a lot of stress out there, but the good thing is once they recover it, they can take a knee and celebrate the rest of homecoming week.
Brandon Stanley out here, sure enough. They will be going for the onside. You can just tell by the formation. Here's the kick. It's low, bounces up, and it is recovered by Pendleton Heights. That was Nate DeRolf, the junior, who landed on the football, pulled it in. 1st and 10, Pendleton Heights, ball on their own 42 or 47-yard line.
And on a spot like this, the scoreboard says Delta has 2 timeouts left. But even at that, if you run the ball, you risk a chance of getting stripped or fumbling it. So victory formation is definitely not a bad option.
We'll see what Pendleton Heights does here. 1st and 10, a minute 19 left to play on the clock. We'll get a carry here by Dresden Roberts up the middle. This one will go for about a yard or 2 on 1st down. Brings up 2nd and long for the Arabians. I think giving the ball to Dresden Roberts, I think is the second safest option behind victory formation. Roberts, a phenomenal back, not only, as we've been talking about the entirety of this game, a power back, but he does a very good job protecting the football. You can just tell in the way he holds it, both arms over it. And he definitely does a great job on that. We do have a timeout here from, of course, the Delta Eagles. They want to stop the clock. They want to give themselves a chance to get it back. 28-23 is our score here. A minute 12 left to play in the 4th quarter. Ball remains on the 49-yard line.
This presentation of
for the Arabians here. Isaac Wilson will remain on the field here and as quarterback. We do have 2 backs in formation here for Pendleton Heights. I do believe that is Bo Surface and Dresden Roberts, the 2 senior backs. We'll get a carry here from Bo Surface, I do believe, or is this Keaton Jones? It's Keaton Jones. Sorry about that.
That first down there.
That should do it. Gets the first down. That should just do it for the Arabians here. 1:06 to play. You got a new set of downs now. By the way, just for the record books, he was tackled just shy of the 35-yard line. The Delta's 35-yard line, that is.
So all you need here is go up to the line of scrimmage, take that knee, just let that clock wind its way on down. You got 15 seconds on the game clock. There's no need to snap it early, as that clock is your friend.
And they will run a play here, though. Bo Surface will get it on the left side. Bo Surface did have trouble fumbling the football in the game against Newcastle a while back. It looks like they'll get out of bounds. Maybe not the smart idea. They're going out of bounds.
A very bad decision running out of bounds. That's given Delta a free timeout.
Yeah.
If you're Pendleton Heights and you're Coach Richmond, there's no need. You have the game in your hands. Any chance you run the ball is a chance that Delta scoops the game and goes the other way and scores to basically end this game.
Yeah, and you can kind of see Bo Surface. I think he was just more focusing about getting back to the line of scrimmage. He kind of swooped around. It was about to be a tackle for loss. He swooped around trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. In the meantime, he, I guess you could say, accidentally walked out of bounds. We do have another carry here now on 2nd and 10. This one going to who I believe Keaton Jones. Yeah, the junior Keaton Jones will get the carry here. It will go for about 2 yards, brings up 3rd down. On this timeout here for Delta. This game not entirely over. I'm not sure exactly the numbers here. I don't know if this is their last timeout, but as of now, the game clock reads 31.3 seconds. Play clock, of course, 25. So say you get a snap here, you run the football, then you'll be able to cut that clock down very, very short, but we'll see what Pendleton Heights decides to run.
The only downfall right now is it is 3rd and 7, so you want to take off a little bit of time, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, take a look at some of the other scores around the Hoosier Heritage. Currently, Newcastle, Mount Vernon, they're back at it. Newcastle kind of crept back in that game, scored the 4th quarter, Mount Vernon 44-21. That game pretty much locked away, and then New Pal 49, Shelbyville 7. That game is final. New Pal getting their 5th win of the season at home. By the way, Greenfield Central Yorktown playing at Yorktown. Don't have the score for that one, unfortunately. So here now, 3rd and 7 for the Arabians. So we got a formation here. Keaton Jones in the backfield, and Isaac Wilson would just hold it for a second, then take the knee, and that will do it. Final score for this evening, Pendleton Heights 28, Delta Eagles 23. Pendleton Heights claiming their 5th win of the season, advances to 5-2 for Delta, taking their 2nd loss on the year, advancing to 5-2. We will take a quick break. When we come back, Ian and I will break down the final stats for the Arabian Sports Network post-game show. 91.7 WEEM.
Broadcasting from the WEEM studios, underwritten by Community Hospital Anderson,